He's a good guy.
Okay. All right, it's 1 o'clock. We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Father, we come to you today, Lord, as your servants, Father, we're trying to do our best, Lord, to do your will, and where can, Father, we are not perfect people, but with your help and guidance, we can make good decisions that benefit all of grandchildren. Father, we look to you, and we're gonna look to each other, and demand the best out of one another, and expect the best, and we're gonna give it our all. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, well, welcome, a lovely fall afternoon. It was a little chilly this morning, but it's a great afternoon for a meeting. I took a walk around the courthouse before I came in. Last week, I was surprised by some concrete work. And so I changed my path, and there's some activity on the south side. There's some new concrete on the east side. There's new stuff that got scrubbed up on the north.
I saw that.
And the west, I really didn't see anything. So, but very exciting day. We officially have a new commissioner, Mr. Richard Tesserero. Super excited to have you on board. The learning curve here is steep, right?
Yep.
But Bill and I will be gentle, and I think we're going to get along just great. So if you have questions, really, we try to run a very professional but very open meeting, and I encourage debate, discussion, and interjection at any time. Really, questions at any time, and whatever you need, we're here to help you the best way we know how. Okay.
Sounds great. I appreciate it.
So we're really excited to have you on board. Now,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Tesserero was helping us with Road and Bridge. Already, we had him as a kind of an unpaid advisor to the commission. And he went from there to the actual, this side of the desk. So kind of interesting, but you're still going to work with Road and Bridge.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everything's
Yeah,
still
we're
on
still-
board, so nothing's really changed there. You just, instead of coming here to report, you're gonna vote on it. So,
Sure.
excellent. Glad to have you. Bill, anything?
Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Bill. I appreciate it.
Welcome to the team. Okay, the first thing is county personnel or public comment. Is there any? None? That's fine. I guess, any commissioners have anything that's weighing heavy on your mind? No? Okay, the next thing on our agenda is Austin Parker, our county councilor. He'll be on at about 1:15. So seeing no discussion, we'll just roll on down. So item number one on the, agenda is the minutes from the 13th of October. Are there any additions or corrections or comments to the minutes as presented?
I have none.
Okay, all right. Well, is there a motion to accept?
I move accept the list of October 11th, October 13th.
Okay. I'll second it. Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carried. Right on. Next is payroll from the 15th of October. Let's kind of blow through here. Got any questions?
So the items that are in red here starts at workman's comp.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it's been highlighted and they're bracketed.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to take me a little bit to kind of get up to what the spreadsheet is designed and basically what we're looking at there. Okay. Okay, and that's why
So those are negative numbers, right?
Good question and fair. Okay, and then we scroll on down once we get past those first four.
we get into the actual employee information, where you see hours worked, pay rate, overtime, sick pay, so on and so forth.
So really, the only fluctuation in those usually is overtime, correct? Since it's, if they're working standard 40-hour weeks.
Typically, that's fair. There's some salaried positions there. And, you just,
Okay, and Nikki, you usually send this prior to the meeting, so they have a chance to review it prior to the meeting. I just. Okay, and obviously, when you just turn this thing on, and you're starting to look, there's not a whole lot that I could comment on yet, but.
sure,
You usually have them on the weekend and they can
Uh-huh.
review it and, okay. Chance to make some notes and stuff.
Yep.
Fair enough.
so this is payroll related. And it's, so on our commissioner salary, has that changed that we tried to make, has that taken effect? The reduction? Well, that number just looks the same. Okay, it hasn't changed yet. My understanding was we were making that effective right away. And maybe we didn't make that clear. Okay. Okay. Okay, so yeah, I guess it would be my intention, is that the board's understanding that it would be effective immediately? And
Yeah, as soon as basically, as soon as who does the payroll? Can you ask? Barb does the payroll? Okay. So. I think we're all in agreement that it was something that needs to happen. And if the motions are going through, then that's fine with me.
okay,
It doesn't,
Those. It's going back what we had last year, or it's going back to.
you would ask that, well, basically to,
it was 2 weeks ago, I believe. Meeting 2 weeks ago.
Fine.
I think we took the 2029, something like that, 2040. Yeah, but
Right.
Nikki, the clerk will have it and we'll find it, we'll get that, we'll make that adjustment effective. I mean. Yeah, we make it effective the date we did it, so it may even involve, how much of a headache is it to claw back?
Well, that's what I'm saying is, I think it's gonna be better if payroll just goes forward with it than have to go back and
Okay,
redo all those entries. The idea was everybody was in agreement that as management, we would set the example and say that we're willing to take a cut in our pay. We're not cutting anybody else's pay,
okay,
but just as I mean, that's what the whole thing came about. So I think however they can do it with the least amount of trouble work for the gallon payroll, I'd say.
sounds good. Um,
Go back to normal.
well, we reduced our pay as part of the budgeting process. You may or may not have assigned a start date to that.
Which,
And and so the default would be to start at the new budget year. So. I'm not looking here. I don't see anything in my notes, but my notes are not very,
I don't think I wrote anything.
okay. Okay, and I guess in the absence, if we can't find one, let's circle back to it at the end of the meeting and we can make it official. Would that be all right?
Sure.
Okay. I'll put number 9 there and make it the commissioner's pay. Change date. Okay, all right. Oops. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, and just people outside watching. I got 2 combines, one of them's not running, that was the mechanic, just texted me. And so I'm the people's servant, so I put the phone away and I didn't respond, but it goes against every instinct in my farmer brain to do that. But here we go. We're still on payroll, just kind of cruising through. Did you see anything or do you have any questions or comments? Anybody?
None at this time.
Okay, Dale?
I move we approve the payroll for the whatever fake day is,
So the 15th.
for 10/15/2025.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, motion carried. And for your benefit, we typically, when we go through here, for some reason, the guy on the left starts with the I, and we sort of cascade through.
Okay.
So that's just,
Doesn't really make any difference, but
it really doesn't, but that's kind of what happens. That's the way it goes. Okay, the next is item number 3, which is the bridge inspections contract. This is page 45 of your document, and it's about a 10 or 20 page. Should we have, would Tammy want to come in for this at all? Do you have any experience with something like this? Okay. We can do that. We can do that.
so my question is, do we need to bid that out some once in a while? I mean, they have done it in the past, but for a long time, they just stay with this company, so.
Let's save that. Let's wait for Austin. When he gets online, we'll ask him. So I'll bounce down. Then that's excellent. We'll bounce to number 5. Number 5 is the November meetings. And that is the election conflict, right? Okay. So that is page 88. 88. There's 263 pages, this meeting. It's
See
pretty
that.
lengthy.
I see that.
The work factor. Yeah.
We can. It scrolls really fast too, so.
There you go.
Yeah.
Right there. Okay, so Nikki, would you like to take the lead on this? As far as what you'd like to have happen?
So. I've had a motion done, so they're not official yet. What the list you guys, what often you want. We have a meeting on the 31st at 1. I don't know how much to be on the agenda for the 3rd. At the time, I'm sure you guys will have to still be talking about health insurance, so you might be having, I don't know.
So the choices are to cancel entirely, have a short morning meeting, or move the meeting to the regular time, but do it on the floor. So what's her point about health insurance discussion is valid. Do you want to have a full meeting on the Tuesday, I guess, Tuesday the 4th?
I don't see much reason to. Third's Monday, right? So we got, on Friday afternoon. Like not much going on between Friday afternoon and Monday.
Work session, like, pick up some, health insurance, then. Work session, but.
So what do you say? Don't need the meeting? Or,
I wouldn't think we need it on Monday.
okay. So would you want to have a regularly scheduled meeting on Tuesday?
I'm available if somebody else wants.
I am too.
Yeah, that works for me.
Is that okay? Tuesday at 1 o'clock then. So I would make a motion that we change our November, the first meeting in November, I guess, from the 3rd to the 4th at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion carried. That's done. So we move that to Tuesday. 4th, 1. Okay, then the November 10th, looks like we have another election conflict. Okay. So we need to change our meeting to, so I'm unfamiliar with the canvassing and ballots. But we need to change our meeting to accommodate this time between 8 and 10. So do we need to go back to the Monday, 8 o'clock meeting then?
Again, that works for me. Does it work for you, Bill?
It works better for me, the good morning that day, come today, dealing on in the afternoon.
Okay, and it's okay with you? Okay, so then I guess I would make this motion that we change our November 10th meeting to begin at 8 o'clock in the morning. Is there a second?
8 or 8:10.
Um,
And I'm like, 8 o'clock. So.
well, it's been so long now. It was 8:10, wasn't it? 8:10. Okay, I'm gonna amend my motion. We'll change the November 10th meeting date to begin at 8:10 a.m. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 Good, motion carried. Excellent. Now we'll get some reminders out there too with just a few little changes, but I'll tell you a little secret. One day I drove here early in my commissionerhood and there was a meeting. So it happens from time to time. So when they change the date. I don't think less than, okay, it's 1:17. Where Austin hasn't made connection yet, so we'll just roll on down. Item number 6 is the Brown County holidays. So Bill, you've done this in the past. What are we doing here? Just setting them for the next year?
Basically,
Okay,
making changes if you want.
And like the district court, now the court code.
uh,
That's why I was usually
So every one of these holidays is basically what the state of Kansas does. Would you agree with that then?
Yeah.
That's,
So, for my opinion on this is that the holidays should be spread out as much as possible. So. I think last year I kind of stated my feelings that we only need one Independence Day, and since we have a holiday in the end of May and one on the first part of July. I think we don't really need a holiday in the middle. Or you, I mean, just. And they're not, so the state, they have they say they give the employees an extra day off whenever they want. I don't know if I agree with that or not, but I mean, just to have a birthday off. I'm not in favor of adding holidays. I think they should be, they kept it the same or reduced. But I think what we have should be spread out.
okay. So in the past, at some point, was a day given up to get the Friday after Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Okay, so Columbus. Okay, and then depending on what Christmas falls on, that changes each year, correct? So this year it looks pretty clean since Christmas is a Friday. And so the state is no longer recognizing February 17th then? They were saying they took the President's Day off.
Yeah, that's the next page.
Okay.
okay.
So really, the biggest question is the President's Day, is that correct?
You mean the discretionary day?
Yeah,
Could be, yeah. Trying to look, I wanted to see, I know Nemaha County has a different schedule than we did on county holidays. See what Donovan County did too, but it's a little hard to dig in there. When do we need to have this ASAP? All right, okay.
So on here on the 2025, you don't have one day on here for Christmas. Are we taking,
All right, but all. Hard to-
so you'd have the 26th off, is that what we're doing?
so there are businesses in town that follow the courthouse schedule, obviously, right? I know the title insurance companies, I believe they do as well. So they wait until we post and that's how they give their holiday schedule out, I guess. Okay. Well, I'm, so when we adopted Juneteenth, did we go away with one other day or was it just another day added?
Oh, that's kind of where it's another day out.
Yeah,
Nemaha County doesn't do Juneteenth.
yeah, I'm running a business, the national holidays are one thing, but I would be in the future, I would definitely be looking at a way to keep the holiday schedule as is and not adding to it if something starts coming up. I mean, that's just my opinion, but
Sure.
About $10,000 every holiday, yeah.
yeah, yeah. Do we have? So he was just mentioning, do we have a tally of when we shut the courthouse down and people get paid for a holiday? Do we know what that costs the courthouse?
Still have to figure out that.
Well, up here on the payroll days, that they have holiday pay and then they have an amount of that.
Okay, it'd just be interesting in the future, looking at what it costs to shut the courthouse down.
So.
So on this schedule, Lucas,
Mhm.
are they looking for an answer today on this?
I think so.
And really, it's basically, it mirrors what we did last year, correct?
Mhm.
Okay,
If you look at, yeah, it's essentially the same.
okay.
With the discretionary day is different, but when the state says that, they gave us, did the state give us an explanation? Just back there, yeah, yeah. Start. Okay. All right, well. And then, it's 1:24, so we have Watco coming on at 1:30. Now, if Watco, are they coming on or coming in? They're coming in, okay, that's better, and we still don't know from county counselor. I'm gonna shoot him a little message, see where's he's at. All right. I'm not sure how to handle that discretionary day, and I do have some questions. We'll wait for Austin when he comes in, so we'll just kind of kick the ball around here for a little bit. Guys, just chew on that, and we'll just keep thinking about it. We can, did you all look at the number 7 on the agenda, and that's the traffic reports? That was pretty lengthy. Tammy, I assume, put those in on the 270th road.
So you guys have put out counters, and when did that start?
Early the spring, I would say, somewhere in spring,
Okay.
early summer. We bought a thing called the Armadillo,
Mm-hmm.
and it's size and speed, time of day, so on and so forth. It just, just triggers it and makes these spreadsheets. A lot of this information is just the same stuff presented in different format, but
So the reason, were you guys gonna look at the data and then determine what roads were getting the most usage? And then is this for repairs going forward, or was it just for other information?
it's, yeah, for both. Okay, so what's neat about this thing is if there's a combine drives by at 20 miles an hour.
Right.
If there's a big truck that drives by at 20 miles an hour, I think it can discriminate for that too, or
Okay.
by that. But it's neat. What our intentions were for road usage, for speed.
Sure. So
And-
your column off to the right, basically you're determining,
And
people are-
congestion,
right.
times a day.
Sure.
So say you see this traffic, and when people are going to work, there's more cars on the road, and when people are coming home, same thing.
obviously through harvest, we're seeing all the numbers spike then.
Yeah, I think, yeah. And Tammy gave us a data dump here that I haven't, this is a lot.
Yeah.
This is a lot here, but the machine is capable of doing quite a bit. We partnered with law enforcement somewhat because they would like to have the information too on, one of those you could see that 270, the fastest person drove through there at 4 o'clock in the morning at 82 miles an hour. So they were late or something. And I hope they got there safely, and I'm sure they'll be. But there's another one there at 10 o'clock in the evening.
So I think,
Driving age. Well, it's just
oh,
a lot of this information,
Right, yeah.
Bill, is just,
Yeah, right.
just there. Like on the 5th of October at 9 PM, somebody was. And then
So does the sheriff's department, can they see this data or do we have to give it to them?
I'd have to ask Tammy, not sure.
Email, okay.
She's,
You actually have to download it off the device, so it goes directly to Tammy, she found it out.
there you go.
Okay,
Ask him.
because obviously I would think the sheriff's department would be the ones reviewing a lot of this and seeing when the problems are out there.
Well, one thing, after we opened that new section, I want to know speeds and stuff.
Right.
And
So this is equipment that the county purchased, or did they lease it, or how did we end up with it?
Bought it.
We bought it.
Mhm.
Okay,
Bought it.
Yep.
Something you want to say? No? Okay, okay, yeah. I was early in my commissioner career and his name, Tammy, you remember, he came in and I did we only had one person present to us. I did some internet research on the price.
Mhm.
His price was competitive. I mean, actually it was the cheapest for what they offered for the same exact thing. And so we ended up partnering with the sheriff's department on the money spent. I say to get one bought.
Okay. And so if it breaks down, do they support it, the company we bought it from, or have we had any problems with it? I'm just wondering, as a maintenance thing going forward, how do we maintain them? Yeah,
That company,
I'm sure.
we have insurance. Yeah, I would have to dig through my.
Okay,
papers.
I'm just wondering.
I,
Obviously, we're not in California because they would have been stolen already and we wouldn't have them, so they're still out there and they're still working.
they're still out there and looking, yeah, they
Good.
chain them to the posts.
That, I don't think they've been up that many times,
She's had them out quite a bit.
actually.
Yeah, I think she's good. And we can have Tammy come in here
So
also
I don't,
and give us a report, because she's the one that gets this information or looks at it. So she just presented it.
Well, I would just hope that we use them. I mean, you guys are using them, obviously. It's a good thing to have. I just hope that the sheriff's department can get the information easily and then maybe we can
no.
figure out how to stop people from doing 90 miles an hour down Kestrel Road.
So to my understanding, before we had this device, the county did limited traffic counts, and what they did was with the pneumatic dinger, where they laid those
Mhm.
across, and, you know, and it could do kind of a crude or rudimentary traffic count. This one just has so much more data, and the beauty of it is it collects it, and I think they go check it every week or every 2 weeks, and it's just, you know, they download it and then you go on.
And then the equipment does it have a subscription price to it, or it's just you purchase it and it's ours? In other words, do we pay monthly to get this?
Yeah.
That's good. Okay.
We are going in the Wayback Machine here. That information would be in our format when we were still on the Civic Plus. And I could help you with that, but it's not.
Yeah, well, I mean, just questions go through my mind. Obviously, things that don't continue to occur cost are good.
Right. No, and this one doesn't.
Very good.
Okay, and I got a message from the attorney. He'll be on shortly. Okay.
Who's next?
So the idea with Austin to put him on the agenda was to give him a set period of time every meeting to sort of just tell us what he's been doing and ask him some questions, get him on, because I find with attorneys, a lot of times they're pretty busy and a lot of demands on their time. So hopefully in 15 minutes, he can give us the rundown. Okay, it'd be good to have him in for that also. At least partially, okay. So there's a lot of information on that traffic. I mean, it's just a lot of information, and
Have you had any complaints about reducing the speed limit?
not this week. I did get a few calls last week. Two,
I've had two.
yeah. So part of this, and we need to have this discussion. On our worksheet schedule, there's county paved roads with a 45-mile-an-hour speed limit. So the sheriff's department has been pretty upfront that the condition of the roads, they're solid, but they're getting pretty bumpy. And it can be a safety issue, you know, high rates of speed. So we look at it from our side, and I think you have information on it. I mean, really, the slower the traffic, the longer your road will last.
Correct.
And so we're trying to find the right point there where we can balance speed, safety, road longevity. You see at 82 mile an hour, that's pretty fast, but most of that, at least on that 270th street, people are keeping it right around 60. So we're any road not otherwise posted in Brown County is 55 miles an hour. So people are keeping it within their 5 mile an hour increase.
Yeah, and so you guys are getting calls. I received one call. I wasn't sworn in yet, but complaining about it. And so obviously we have a common front here. We want to slow people down for a bunch of reasons. Number one, for safety, especially right now with harvest time going on. It's the best time to slow people down, right? But when we first started talking about the condition of the roads, one of the things we were talking about is how do we make the roads last longer? And, you know, kinetic energy, you know, you can't argue science. If they're driving down the road with the load on and they're driving slower, there's less long-term damage. And so as I get those calls, my message is going to be the same thing I think we talked about before, is safety is the number one thing that we talked about, but also we need to extend the life of the roads. And one of the best ways to do that is to slow people down.
Well, and it's related because when a loaded semi hits a bridge and it's an uneven, and that weight gets kind of pushed and spread out, then it heaves that asphalt.
Yes,
and then-
especially when it's hot.
especially when it's hot.
Yeah.
And then that's how it's tied into safety, because now the car behind him, you know, it is bouncing over a bump. So
So probably. Can you limit the trucks to go up slower speed and people understand?
Can we do that? Is that your
That's the
question?
yeah.
Well, I
But
don't,
you probably have to put do a lot of science for it.
obviously, you'd want a little bit more data on why we're doing that, but, my opinion is slowing everybody down is a good thing, right?
So, yeah, I mean, from the road longevity point, I think, yeah, you make that argument, but from the safety. So as a trucker on the road, when I get into a zone where trucks are limited to a slower speed than cars, it's more dangerous than if we were just the same speed.
Right.
And you
Because
end up,
everybody's trying to pass you.
that's exactly right. You get behind a slow truck, and then they get mad and fly around you on the hill and bad things happen. So I think it probably could be done, but I don't think it's the right choice.
And that's probably one of those things, we talked about having meetings with, coffee with the commissioners, whatever we call it going forward. That's a great topic to try to get people in and explain why we're doing it. And maybe if we can explain that a little bit better, maybe we'll have more buy-in.
Right.
Because I don't think anybody's against, keeping our taxes lower. And that's what it really comes down to.
Yeah, well, we've also got to do the. We got to get more information to see if, I mean, it only makes sense.
Yeah.
But does it actually translate to savings? I mean, I guess we're gonna find out.
It translates to longevity, which translates to savings.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
no doubt.
The more I learn about roads, and I pay more attention to them now that I'm involved on the maintenance side, or at least the decision-making side of these things. Is, I keep thinking that's pavement that I'm driving, on. It's not, it's a thin layer of oil with a thin wear course of gravel. And that's essentially sitting on a gravel bed. That's
Right.
all it is. So as that thing, I mean, it's just a really glorified gravel road. So we've got to treat it with some special, I don't know, TLC, but we need to be aware of what weight and speed and travel intensity, you know what you'd say, maybe the
Sure.
traffic intensity does to these roads. That's why this counter, once we get everything in place, I mean, we were just laying the pieces in place. We need to get a methodology behind where are we putting this thing? Why is it there? And then, as we get more information, we should be able to start making decisions based on data. Which leads to, well, this section of road, it gets, 1.5 times the traffic is this section of
Right.
road. And that should translate to a different maintenance schedule, I would think.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. I thought. The counter for going both on the new part of 270, but. It looks like one of them was. Just west of Gold Fence and one was west of Kyle.
Okay.
So, those 3 miles between Gold Fence and Kyle. Are different.
Mhm.
I didn't go through and compare them because it's kind of hard to compare.
Well, it's a lot of information. It really is. It's a big spreadsheet.
Be better for it.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. I apologize for the delay. I had a meeting that went significantly longer than
Having a
expected.
little difficult. I can't hear you, Austin. We're
I'm
working on.
sorry. Can you guys hear me now? Let me know when you guys can hear me.
The highest pressure job is the guy that runs a computer, and it's the truth. It really is.
Can you guys hear me now? Do you guys have, can you hear me? I can try my different audio here. Let me see. Can you guys hear me now? Do you guys hear me?
I'm just gonna call him, see if he'll answer. We'll talk our way through this.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, Austin, I thought hi there. I'd just call you. Dallas is working on the technology here.
No, that's okay. I apologize for that. I'll still join by video and then just put this onto, well, I'm not sure I can join by video. I may just stay on the phone. I apologize for the delay on my end.
Okay.
I had a meeting that went significantly longer than scheduled.
Well, we know what that's about. We know what that's about. So No harm, no foul. We'll,
Theoretically, it should be working. I'll try it again.
okay, Dallas says give it a shot.
All right, I'm gonna switch back over now. Let's see what happens.
Okay. So Greg and Jessica are with Watco. They're on for 1:30. We're trying to tie into our new county council. He's on Zoom, but you're more than welcome to come on up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So would you run that mic over for them? Sure. Glad you're here. Good to see you again.
Good seeing you too, Chris.
Hi.
Hi, nice to see you in person.
Yeah, we met online.
Nice to meet you, Richard.
Nice to meet
He is
you.
brand new. I mean, 41 minutes on the job.
All right.
Okay,
Just being thrown right into it.
that's right. Get some of the stuff out of your way.
Yeah, noted that.
It's too nice to be in here.
Hello, all.
All right.
Perfect.
Okay, that's great. Good job, Dallas. Got you in
Yeah.
there.
Thank you, Dallas. I appreciate that.
Okay, Austin, you're seeing the backside of Watco insurance brokers, Jessica and Greg.
Hi, all. How are y'all doing?
How you doing?
Very good. Good to see you.
Good seeing you too. Nice to meet you.
So he's
Nice
our
to meet
county
you.
counsel, new man on board.
Okay.
He comes in person 1 week and then Zoom the next. So
Okay.
this is kind of our first real, well, that's our second Zoom experience. First time I've seen him in a car. He's belted in.
Yes.
Hope he's not traveling, but.
No, I'm good.
Seen
I'm
you.
just, I'm belted in though. So,
Okay, all right. Buckled up. Okay. So, Austin, if it's okay with you, we're a little behind schedule. Can we jump into this Watco? They're
Yes,
on
go for
agenda. We're about 8 or 12 minutes late.
I'm sorry. Let's do it.
Okay, all right. You have the floor.
Thank you very much. We appreciate your time today.
Yeah.
Looks
You
like
are.
you're going through some information.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. We appreciate your time. Today is our renewal meeting. So this is when we meet annually to go through the renewal that the carriers have provided for your plans. And so today we'll go through first the medical renewal and look at year-over-year claims. And then discuss the differences between fully insured and being self-funded. You are self-funded today. And then a rebate history. We did go out to market on your medical plan previously, and then also asked for some alternate options from Blue Cross. So we have that to review today. And then we have your ancillary renewals, which we'll just run through those real quickly here. The Delta Dental is a 2.92% increase. The life benefit with principal is flat. And then your vision plan is still in a rate guarantee, so that won't be up for renewal again until 2028. And then we'll open it up for you all to discuss any questions and planning that we can support with. But before we dive in, are there other items important to you that we can help prioritize within our time together? Okay, well, don't hesitate to ask questions along the way. I know this is new to a lot of you. Hey, Barb, how are you? So a lot of this is probably new to you, so feel free to ask questions. But we'll start on page 3. This is a year-over-year claims history that we've put together. And this is highlighting the 3 years that we were fully insured with Blue Cross Blue Shield of Kansas. So before we moved to the self-funded plan. And one thing to keep in mind is now that you're self-funded, you do pay for stop loss coverage, which is protection against large claims, and we have that set at 50,000. So essentially, Brown County is responsible for all claims up to 50,000 for each individual on the plan. And then if someone were to exceed 50,000, that's when Blue Cross takes on that liability. And so we looked.
Total. Is it 50,000 times the total number of employees, or is there?
Plan participants. So it's for every plan participant.
So if we had 60, then it's $3 million. Okay. Okay.
Well, there is a cap.
There-
There is a cap.
there's a- Okay,
There is a cap.
I thought,
And we'll definitely get into that in the renewal. Yeah.
okay, sorry.
Yes, no, good question.
Two forms of protection. You've got what's called the aggregate.
which is declining the whole group. And then you've got the specific for any one large claim. And good question.
Yes. So what we did is, since you were fully insured during these 3 years, we looked at what your claims were. And we essentially threw out anything that Blue Cross would have paid for if you had been self-funded and had that $50,000 specific stop loss. So for example, in 2021, highlighted there, it shows your plan paid $754,000 in claims. But if you were self-funded, you would have only paid $520,000. Same thing for the next 2 years. In 2022, you would have paid $420,000 versus $425,000, so not much difference there, but a little bit. And then you'll see a larger differential in 2023, where you would have had to pay $666,000 in claims versus $841,000. The other item to consider here is that when you're fully insured, you don't get rebates. Now rebates are what are credited to you all if you have a drug dispensed through your plan that a drug manufacturer provides rebates on. Essentially, they incentivize you for having that drug covered on your plan. And so this just represents claim costs, does not represent any credits that you would have gotten back for rebates. Any questions on this page? Okay, so then the next page is the reporting that we get when you are self-funded. And this is your monthly stop loss summary. This is available to you on a monthly basis through e-billing. And this will show you your prior contract period total at the bottom. So what the 2024 financials look like, and then 2025 year to date. So we'll start at the bottom with 2024. And last year we did have a higher claims year. So you'll see that the far right column called attachment point, that's your maximum liability for claims. Your total payments applied to ASL, which is the total payments applied to the attachment point, ran to the max. So essentially you hit your maximum liability, and then Blue Cross ended up taking on an additional about $94,000 in claims, because that's where we have that aggregate liability that Greg mentioned. We do have a cap. And so if you hit that, then Blue Cross takes on the balance. And then the middle row there represents the claims above the $50,000 specific stop loss level. So we had 4 individuals that hit their $50,000 threshold. So then Blue Cross took on $255,000 in claims above that for those 4 members. So that's a high level on 2024. What's positive to see is that we're running in a much better position this year compared to last year at this point during the year. Our claims are below where we were through September last year. And right now you'll see we're running at, we have had $477,919 in claims applied to the maximum claim liability of $700,000. So we're running in a surplus of $222,000. And what's really great about that is, as a self-funded employer, is when you have a surplus, that money just stays in your bank account. So, you know, if we continue to run in a surplus, you can carry forward that balance and build up a reserve for when you may have some higher claims months or years. Any questions on that part before I keep going? I know it's a lot of numbers on the page.
So you were talking about there was 4 employees that hit that 50,000 or more for that year.
For that year.
Do you guys, do we have kind of a history? I mean, is that about what we average a year, or is that low, or is that high?
Well, so this 2024 was our first year being
Fair enough.
self-funded, but if you look at the prior year, or the prior page, sorry, it will show the claims levels for each year. So for example, in 2021, we had 1 member that had claims of between 50,000 and 100,000.
Okay.
And then 2 that had 100,000 or greater. And so we had 3 that would have exceeded their limit in 2021.
Right.
And then for the prior year, there was only 1. And then 2023, we had, let's see here, 2.
Okay,
So,
so it was a higher year.
yes, it was.
And Lucas, maybe you know, how many people are covered by this? So 4 people out of how many?
Let's see here, we have,
63 employees.
yep,
What about family?
we have 11 unemployed children,
It's okay. I mean, I think they kind of just,
11 unemployed.
So about 75 total members.
okay,
The 4 would be on the high side,
yeah,
and that was most recently, so. But something that I mean, that's a really good question. I think the reason that Jess kind of pointed out these numbers here below, the 520,
mhm,
the 420, and the 666, that's the claims that if you were self-funded, you'd have been liable, you were fully insured.
right,
But just kind of getting an average of where the claims have been running over the last 3 or 4 years will really kind of help you measure the renewal and then also the value of the self-funded plan, because what happens is on top of the claims, there's a fixed cost.
sure,
And, you know, if we say the average has been about what, about 550,000 roughly. 550 is probably where it's been over the last 4 or 5 years. So it's easy to say, okay, well, as you look through some of the options that will provide that are fully insured, you'll say, does it make more sense to go back to a fully insured plan or stay where we're at?
Right.
So.
And then the other thing to note is we haven't had anyone this year through 9 months hit the $50,000 threshold, but there's 2 that may, if they continue to have some claims come through. There's 2 that are forecasted to hit that. But again, if they do reach 50,000, you're done paying for those claims. Blue Cross will take on the balance. The next page on page 5 is your rebate history. So again, as a self-funded employer, you do receive rebates back credited to you all on a quarterly basis. And that's again based on if there's certain drugs that are dispensed through your plan that have a rebate available, then you receive 80% of those rebates back. And so overall in the last since August of 2024, we've received 6 different payments totaling $102,000. And that's money, again, that's just credited to you all that you can use to help offset claims costs or continue to use for funding. You all can choose how you use those credits that come back to you. And then the most important part is page 6. So this is our renewal and marketing results. So you'll see here on this page, we've outlined a few options that we have with Blue Cross with their renewal, as well as a fully insured option, and then option with Cigna that's also a self-funded plan or fully insured option. Unfortunately, Aetna and then another company called Angle declined to quote. And then we have United Healthcare is pending. We have not received a quote back from their group. But otherwise, this does encompass our marketing results. And you'll see that the dark blue represents your minimum cost or your fixed cost. And the lighter blue is your variable cost, which represents claims. And so that's why it's variable, because you'll only pay up to that level if your plan is utilized to that level. So when looking at your fixed cost increase on the current plan, if you stay self-funded, it's about a $62,000 increase to your minimum cost. And then the variable cost would go up, let's see here, at the maximum level, if you continue to fund at maximum, would be an increase of 105,000. So that's how that looks with Blue Cross. Now, the value of being self-funded again is that if the claims don't run to that level, that's all just savings. That money you only pay as claims come through. But there is a fully insured option that we have for consideration, and that's a guaranteed total cost of $1.2 million. And why that's guaranteed is you just pay a fixed cost every month regardless of utilization. And so that is what the cost would be for that plan. And then Cigna, we have represented here, you know, they have a little bit lower cost on the fixed, but you'll see that they make up for it on the claim side. So they have, compared to Blue Cross's options, on the maximum cost liability, their maximum funding, I should say, is higher than what it would be with Blue Cross. And their fully insured option is also higher than what Blue Cross has presented. So one
Now,
thing.
may I ask a question? I'm sorry would it be okay if I ask a question now? And I'm sorry, my internet may not be great enough for video where I'm at, so please forgive me long term.
Yes, of
I had
course.
a question. I mean, part of the reason why we like to self-insure on a government side is to make sure that we've got enough leeway in there that we're not always absorbing a 12 to 15% increase in our benefits costs every year. Do you think at year 3 to 5 that we're still on a stabilized track to maybe seeing some of that benefit versus going back to fully insured? What do you think we're at in terms of management? Is it going to yield the hopeful result?
Yeah, I think that we see the value in being self-funded as a long-term solution because there are going to be good years and bad years. I mean, really, we've only been self-funded for one full year and then year to date. So it's been really hard to kind of see how that plan's going to work overall. But right now we are in a surplus in the current year. So we do see the value in that. I would say that a trend increase, probably 10%, would you say, for what we're seeing in the market as a whole? No, just overall trend increase.
Yeah, I mean, the trend itself is about a 10% increase on medical costs, on the medical. The pharmaceuticals about 15.
Right.
So something that, and I'll just reiterate what Jen, and that's a really good question. Most companies, government or private, would prefer to be self-funded now because you have a lot more control in the ups and downs of healthcare. What happens with Blue Cross right now is we're seeing a lot of 18 to 20% increases on their fully insured plan. So, I mean, even when a group runs well in claims, you're still gonna get, I mean, one, you don't get really good information, and two, you're gonna get a big increase. So it's like last year at the renewal, we had a bad year. We had a higher renewal than what we hoped, but if we were fully insured, we'd have gotten a 30 or a 35% renewal, I promise you, with Blue Cross. This year, we'll come back, we've got a surplus built up, and I think it's a better long-term strategy to stay self-funded. Most companies that are trying to bend the cost curve, they go to a self-funded plan, so.
No, you don't have to sell me on self-funded. I just wanted to highlight any 50,000's the standard mark that I see people at in terms of having the linebacker policy in place. I think that that's great. I just wanted to make sure that we're still looking at, I mean, if we're sitting back again, we may have 3 heavy years in a row, but it seems like a successful mark would be by about 5 or 6 years into this thing, we're going to have the equivalent of about 1 year of reserve that allows us to even out some of the costs if there's a heavy versus a light change. I mean, isn't that kind of what we're trying to get to, is get a healthy reserve balance to protect us from large swings? Am I right?
Yeah.
I think that's very well said.
So basically, you guys the self-insured thing just started a year ago is what you're saying. Okay. And so like when you see the rebate money, we're talking about the rebates, possible rebates. As a commission, do we know where that money would go, where it would sit? Would it sit in a fund or would it get absorbed and used someplace else? Because basically what Austin was saying is if this thing goes the way that it's projected to go, we are saving money. That money that we're saving should be rolling into an account, correct? A reserve.
Yeah.
And then going forward, if things go right, in the budget.
Yeah.
So then it gets absorbed and we don't really see it. But I think, correct me if I'm wrong, the right way to be doing that would be putting it, earmarking it where it doesn't get used, correct? And create an account. And therefore, if we do have 2, 3, 4 years where it's working in our advantage, like Austin was saying, now we've got basically a pool money to pull for. Is that what we want to do? Because that's, I would think if it was just me, that's what I would be trying to do if this was something personal or whatever. And I'm just wondering, what are you guys saying on that? How do you feel about it, Lucas?
Oh, it only makes sense. I mean, my brain works when I hear 10% year over year on these. And we just say it and it's almost like it's expected. And it's
Yeah.
not flippant, but it happens so much. Like,
Yeah.
10%. Well, 10% on $1.4 million, you know,
$140,000.
yeah, and the exponential growth and somebody's gonna have to tell Blue Cross that we can't do this anymore because it just doesn't work. And that's, I hate to be that guy, but good night.
Well, I mean, very valid point. I mean, that's why the 10% a year is not sustainable.
No,
I mean, you just can't do it. So that's why, I mean, with this renewal, the fixed cost is up about $60,000.
Mhm.
$60,000 as a percentage of the total.
Yeah.
Is about 4%.
about 4% of the 140,000 he was just
Of
talking
the
about.
140. So what happens is what you could say is you say, well, we're getting a guaranteed increase of 4%. The other is a variable. And I think it's easier to relate to the variable because that's just the health of the employee.
Sure.
That's the claims that are incurred by the employees. And if the employees as a whole work toward taking care of themselves, utilizing the providers correctly, you know, being better, making better lifestyle choices or not, that's what's gonna impact the number. It's not the insurance company.
Right.
It's the empowerment of the employees.
So,
And that's what makes this more controllable.
so we know the answer to that. And the
Well,
answer
and
is very
your
low.
thoughts.
Go ahead, Austin, go ahead.
And if we were looking at a government like Sedgwick County, Kansas, that's much larger than us, that's been self-insured for years,
Yeah.
eventually, if we were looking 10 years back, we would say, oh, this is a no-brainer question. Okay, because then you get to talk about what's your linebacker limit. You know, if you're 10 or 12 years in and you've got 3 million in your self-reserved insurance fund, well, it sounds like a lot of money, but it's really only a year or two, maybe 2 years at that point. But the reality is that you've got some flexibility to self-insure even more, to really control your costs long term. And it's no different than what an insurance company does. I mean, that's why insurance companies are the largest investors in passive and stable investment. They've got a lot of money that comes in, they manage it well, they make use of cents on dollars. But I'm just saying, I think if we had the benefit of 5 to 8 years, we would look at it, particularly if we had self-identified those funds that were coming back and kept them in the reserve moving forward, we'd look and see quite a reserve there. That's my guess. I think it's smart.
Well, in reality, there is a possible upside with self-insured. But if you're not self-insuring, there is no upside.
Exactly.
There's no possible upside.
It's
Right.
just more every year.
Right.
Without any.
But that's the important thing, though, that if we can recognize, and I think Barb was just saying, the rebates or the savings have to be earmarked and not just get spent in the normal budget. Am I correct in saying that?
Right. Okay, so if I look in our budget request, I see health insurance at 1.365 million in 2026. Is that, okay, so then when we look here in our 2 shades of blue, what numbers are we looking at here for 2026? I mean, I see there's choices, but forgive me, I don't fully comprehend it yet.
That's
So,
go ahead.
yeah,
Or-
I think that's a good question, but I think it's gonna be,
But this one, I mean, the
well, we're
max,
showing different. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's up to you as a self-funded employer to decide where you fund. We believe you're funding at maximum today, but you have an option to fund at where Blue Cross expects you to run, just based on history of claims. And so that's why there's 2 options there, the expected funding level for your 2026 renewal, and then your maximum funding is your max liability.
Okay.
And so worst case scenario.
so we're funding above the expected, but below the maximum. That's okay.
For the, yes.
Yeah, all right.
Today, yes.
Yeah, and the only caveat, if you will, that I would put on that is there's $90,000 of rebates that are.
80,000.
80,000.
80,000 that are part of that 147 payment. So, you know, when you look at it, if you're earmarked at 1.3,
Mhm.
your earmark, the maximum is 1478710. Now, does that earmark, does that include what the employees are paying of the total, or is that all for the county?
That's just the county. Am I right? Yeah,
Your budget.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm for. This kind of mental cost to this, to the family, the employee of the family.
So that number in theory would be added to fund the benefits, right? Now, I think the county pays all the employee costs, right?
yeah,
So whatever is contributed as a result of what Barb was saying there would be added onto the budget number to cover these costs.
I see.
So if that number is 100,000, I don't know what it is, but you probably give us an idea of what that total cost is.
For the employee.
No, for the, what the employee pays monthly.
Yeah, so that number of the 1.3, that has to include the employee contribution, because that's the number we pay. Yeah, makes sense.
Okay. So that is, that does.
That's only.
So in that scenario, we would be funding above expected.
Right.
But not up to the max. And the other side of that is, it's not considering that if we end the year on a surplus. I mean, so far, we're at 227.
Yeah.
Yeah, $222,000 surplus. So that surplus, that'll be kind of something we just would be good to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
Just to see how we end the year, because, you know, hopefully we'll have some of that, and that'll build every month. It could be lower, it could be higher, but that'll build every month. And then at the end of the year, something, we'll come back, we'll say, hey, this is where we ended. This is where we ended, and we can, you know, start planning for next year.
Yeah, another thing that we did to kind of run through the numbers is we took an average of the claims in the last 4 years, including those fully insured years and what you would have paid up to if you were self-funded. And that average was 592,000. So then we added that to the fixed cost of the renewal, which is 521. So really, if we keep running on average how we have been, that would equate to 1,113,274. So
Which, when you look at it and you say, well, you know, it kind of in our world, typically you have to take about 15% risk in order to be self-funded, because, you know, when you're fully insured, they don't give you any money back.
Right.
So there's a little more risk.
Yeah.
When you go self-funded, well, this is, I mean, their price on the fully insured plan is 1.2. I mean, if you wanted to reduce your risk.
Yeah.
I mean, we could go to 1.2 and still have $150,000 of reserve of money built in your budget, right?
Yeah.
But the downside with that is you don't get any rebates.
There's no upside.
Well, 150,000,
Well,
yeah, but they're just gonna raise your rates.
well, like Lucas, like you said, the 10% a year is just, it's not sustainable. I mean, you guys just passed the budget and you're looking at another 10% immediately. It's like,
But
I mean, that only works in private markets that are, you know, basically seeing a lot of growth.
right,
And so,
Why would Aetna angle? Why would a company decline?
they said due to high cost conditions.
So that's our approval of employees, I mean, if I remember the sheet, and I don't have it in front of me, where we talked about diabetes and cardiovascular issues, and we're at a fairly high book value, I mean, if that's the right term. So we are not super attractive, because 2 out of 4 insurance companies said we don't even want to try.
Well,
Is that right?
I wouldn't be so hard on yourself
Yeah.
like that, because honestly, insurance companies and third-party administrators, reinsurance, the market is really hard right now. I mean, we're seeing, large claims are just up, and some carriers will just look at a risk, and there's no rhyme or reason to it, like Angle, we've seen them not even close, and then we've seen them 35–40% below the renewal. So it's really all over the board. The fact that we got a quote from Cigna that was competitive, and the fact that Blue Cross is making an offer at that number, they're not gonna make that aggressive of an offer if they don't feel like the risk is acceptable. We're in a much better position than we were last year. From a risk perspective.
From a risk perspective, did they also look at it that the majority of the employees are office versus field? Does that go into it? Because obviously, when you have people that are working a job that's a lot of labor, then there's more risk.
I think what happens in the industry is they look at, in general, that you're a county government. And the rating is gonna be a function of the county government.
Sure.
Yeah, so that's the way they rate. And then they look at the medical cost in the area.
Yeah.
Your plan design and your demographics.
Yeah.
So,
There's an actuary somewhere that's feeding them the numbers.
so.
Okay.
This is a problem, I assume, as old as time, but in our budget environment, we moved some things around to get the numbers to line up, including not hard surfacing. We're not gonna hard surface our road, and we're gonna focus on some things where we think we can improve the county, but not spend so much money. So I'm just trying to look in the future, and I don't see how this works long term. I don't see how I sit on this side of the desk and say, county employees, and to the best of our ability, we want to maintain insurance the way it is. We don't want it to go down. We don't want it to go backwards. But at some point, it's like, where's the money come from? And that's, I'm not trying to scare anybody. That's scary language, because people rely on their health insurance. It's just, I guess, it's just one of those things. But on this side of the desk, it's extremely troublesome. One of the things you had in a document from months past was a quote from the state of Kansas. Did anything ever become of that? Is that included here? Is it on the next page? I guess there is no next page. Never mind.
Yeah, no, we don't have it included in here, but if that's an option you'd like to look at, we can.
Well, do the numbers change? So last time the numbers, it wasn't as good of an option. Does that change with the calendar?
Yes, they do have new rates for 2026, and then for the county, they would also change in July.
So then, as I understand, that state went to like a minimum employee contribution thing too.
Yes.
So that's a bugaboo,
Yes.
but I just like information, and I don't like the yank,
We
it's
can
change.
update those.
Yeah.
We
I
can
just like
update those
information and
records.
choices.
Yeah, that program, and we've seen counties go to the state. So, but it is a path of least resistance from the standpoint of they're gonna tell you what you pay, what your benefits are, who the company is, what percentage of the cost is paid by the county and the employee. And it's a lot more than what you're paying right now.
Yes.
And you don't get any claims back. They don't share any claims back. So, but, by all means, we can provide the data.
Well, I'd seen it in the past, and we'd also seen something else that didn't make any sense. I think what that was. Just options, high and low, just like here, 1.4 to 1.2, there you go. It's pretty simple, and especially because people like Blue Cross Blue Shield. It's the one, it's the constant, the one everybody knows.
Mhm. Yeah,
I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer. I am.
I think you're just being realistic.
Well, we got to get our arms around this, because next year at budget time, what are we gonna do? You can only skip the big one so many years.
Yeah.
And
we could definitely get you that information. The other thing with state plan, it's a 3-year commitment,
oh,
so you
okay.
do have to keep that in mind, but, yeah, there's definitely pros and cons. Go on.
I'm wondering if there's a way that, I mean, to be real tactile with it for a minute, this is a mill.
This is a what?
This represents 1 mil increase, 1 mil, really and truly employee benefits and costs. This is 1 mil of property tax increase on a budget every year without a really ascending valuation in the property. And we're not like a metro area such as Kansas City. Wichita doesn't even have a mill increase that's absorbed in valuation. So what I think would be good for us to understand is if we can map out a little bit of what we project to see after another year. What do you think? You get 2 years of data in. Where do you project? Again, nobody's holding it. It's like a financial, there's always a disclaimer. We don't know what's going to happen. But if we can understand what the balance is in being self-insured, the $150,000 as because I don't think without any upside, there's no good reason to go back to Blue Cross. There's a reason why they're aggressive this year. They'd like to, Blue Cross didn't pay Hutch Clinic claims for a year sometimes. Depending on the claim, they get to control that payment cycle. They get to control how they use the money, when they use the money on their end. I think they're still our claims administrator here, if I understand right. But the reality is that, there's a reason why people want to be self-insured. There's a reason why they're being aggressive to get the county business back, because they can pass on an 18 to 20% increase in the year following, or a 30% increase, which I've seen in governmental plans. I'm not saying that I've dealt with a lot of governments in my life. So what I'm wondering is if we could map out what the win scenario looks like long term, if things go as we actually anticipate with that 5-year average fracture number, what things would look like 5 to 7 years in for next year. That might actually be real helpful to the commission. I don't want to speak out of turn, but that might be helpful.
Yeah, I think that's a good recommendation. We can do that. Kind of like a long-term financial strategy with varying claim levels. Yeah,
And at the minimum, we go self-insured if we do the same thing. We need to separate the saving.
Yeah,
and
that's,
Keep it,
that's what we're bringing up, is that it has to be earmarked and it has to be protected, because if it gets absorbed back in the budget, it doesn't help us the
Doesn't
next year
help.
at all.
Absolutely. Oh, and we've got to figure out how to financially. There's no way we can't put, the normal market on a 10 to 15% increase or whatever. You could invest funds in large cap stocks if you had reserves. Governments are restricted. All they can basically do is put it into a CD, 4%. So we don't get to absorb the regular risk, and we don't have enough linebacker for that. So I'm gonna stop talking. Sorry.
So we'll put that on our work session list or something to do, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right.
What else can we help you with? I know we have some action items that we can work on and get back to you. Are there other items that would help with your decision-making process or other initiatives that you're working on?
Can you increase the population of Brown County 10% a year?
Yeah, I wish we could help in that area.
that would help the numbers, wouldn't it?
It would, yeah, more.
It should help the numbers.
Yeah.
We've talked about. Well, you don't like that here, but they have to contributing, but. I see that even $25. People need to take responsibility for their actions. And if we don't help them, if we allow them not to do that, then we're not really helping them.
Right.
So somehow, I think, to be fair to them, everybody can come up with a little bit of plan, everyone, they want to.
Right. Yeah, I would say it's not uncommon to require some sort of contribution for the employees when you have a self-funded plan. Feel like if they're paying for something, they'll be better utilizers of the plan. Likely.
Yeah, I think if you look at what the benchmarks are for all of our customers, it's unusual to have.
Yeah.
The employee not paying. Now, that's one side of the equation. The other side of the equation would be what's the surrounding companies
Yeah.
around here doing? I mean, what are the biggest employers in this area doing for their benefits? And I think, I don't know for a fact, but I think a lot of the employers are paying a large percentage, if not all, of the single cost. And I think, when you look at having to have employees, I think there's always gonna be trade-offs. And if you go out and say we need to pay $25, well, in our market, that would be typical.
Mhm.
50 would be typical, 75 would be typical.
I think the state plan's 80
Yeah, the
something,
state,
yeah.
the state plan, the employees have to pay 80, but they don't pay near as much on the family.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
there's all sorts of trade-offs.
So the state plan is cheaper if you have family coverage,
It is.
family and spouse.
It is.
So we heard a little about that a month or so ago, so that's confirmed, that makes sense,
It is.
but every employee pays some,
Every employee pays $80.
okay.
So we don't have any employee reinsurance?
Say it again, Austin, I didn't understand.
What
We
he's,
don't have any employee reinsurance or any employee deductibles, like a maximum out of pocket per employee or?
No, we're not talking about the plan, we're talking about what the employees pay for the plan,
The premium,
the premium, their employee contribution. They're not paying anything for single coverage.
Okay, so employees pay nothing. Do they have any co-insurance or deductibles?
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay,
so right now, what's a copay? So if an employee of the county goes to the doctor, what's his copay cost? Approximately.
Yeah,
About
$25.
$25. Okay. Which is very reasonable.
Very.
and what's the maximum out of pocket for the employee?
Good for
5,000.
5,000. It isn't
Okay.
supplemented by the county,
Yeah,
yeah, and out of that,
employee, single coverage pays 1,000. And we can get up to the 4,000 for the deductible income. Any multi-tier,
so the employee out of pocket is about,
plus the company.
yeah, so I mean, the benefits, $1,000 out of pocket. Is that, am I understanding that right? Yeah. I mean, that's very competitive.
Yeah.
Not common.
Not common.
Well, if we're looking at $25 a month and employee premium payment, we had 53 employees. We're talking about $15,900 a year. So I know we're not talking about something that's like going to necessarily make or break the bank. But the reality though is if we're talking about what is a long-term viable structure, if we have certain different, I'm not saying we want to go to a catastrophe driven plan. That's not what I'm saying at all, but we have the more data we get, the more better if we're trying to figure out how to absorb a 10 to 15% increase on average. I'm going to stop talking.
Yeah, and I would say that the plan design as it is right now with the 5,000 out of pocket for the employee from Blue Cross, that would pretty much be the number that we see. I mean, the market, so the county supplement.
Right.
The 5,000 by 4,000. I mean, that would be.
You hit it on the head though, whether it's private or government, you're looking at what, if you're living in this area, what is the norm? What are the other counties doing? And that's obviously the reason is because you want to retain your employees, right? And you don't want them saying, well, I can go over here and get better by coverage. It's a push pull. It's.
Mhm. And there's probably employees too that don't realize how good the benefits are that they do.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, although I know, Barton, you can tell them that every day.
Wow.
And they are. I mean, 100% paid for and 1,000 out of pocket.
Right.
I mean, look for good benefit.
So a single premium, according to my book from 25 per year is $16,323.96. That's what the county pays for 100% of employee coverage. All right? Premium, that's the premium. So, and then if something happened to an employee and they got sick and had to go to the hospital, they would have some co-pays. There's a gap policy in there, but the maximum would be $1,000 that they would spend.
If they have the gap,
If
right?
they have the gap.
Is it mandatory? Does every employee participate in that? So if they didn't, it would be 4,000. Am I hearing you correct?
Well, it'll be fine.
5,000, yeah.
So then explain GAP to me. I thought GAP was a county program, but is it something?
It is, not every.
Okay. Okay.
So you can say some people, it's not an insured plan, it's a plan the town runs. Is that right? So if the employee decides to not participate, that's their decision. So it's not like it's
Not an automatic.
it's, everyone has access. Everyone has the benefit, but not everybody.
And it's probably 'cause they have to submit, if you have paperwork, it requires an extra step.
All right.
I will say that with the gap plan, how much is the gap a month?
Yeah.
How much is it?
It pulls from the employee benefit budget and only as needed.
It's not an insured product, it's a self-funded plan.
Okay, but with gap, even if that's in the $50 range, you have the best insurance and you have the best insurance package that you could possibly buy. Would you guys disagree with that?
No, 1,000 out of pocket is. Nobody has that anymore.
That's better than, they don't even sell a platinum plan on the marketplace anymore. You've got the best. If employees have the ability to buy gap, you're buying the best.
That would have been
insurance.
referred to as Cadillac insurance,
Oh,
that's what
Yep,
the Affordable Care
Absolutely.
Act went after and made sure that you couldn't do anymore.
pretty much. Yep. Nope. This is what insurance was like before the ACA.
What's our timeline? on This,
When do you normally do open enrollment? That November?
November 19th. We need to know by November 10th, so we got it on the-
so November 10th is the hard deadline. So I imagine this information leads to discussion, which leads to more questions, which leads to more contact.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, and I need to do a little information gathering because somebody said comparing it to the world around us. I mean, do you compare to other local county governments? Do you compare to like school districts? I mean, is it
Well,
all
State,
relevant?
local, federal, it really doesn't matter. It's still what we're looking at is, and I'm sorry if I jumped over you.
Jump over. You jumped.
We're not private. It's not the private sector. So it would be, again, this is all about having a county that has employees that want to stay here and don't get to a point where they start looking around and going, well, geez, if I go to another county, I can make more money. I can save more money on health insurance. So to answer your question would be, what are the surrounding counties doing? Unfortunately, it's the 10% a year thing that we're up against. That even what they have been doing is going to change with a lot of these people because no different from insurance on a county building. At some point, it's almost unsustainable. Unfortunately, then you start looking at larger co-pays, more participation. But well, what to offset it? I mean, otherwise.
All right. Okay, well, this is wonderful. Can you had given us a document 4 or 5 months ago that had that book value and I was trying to find it here and I couldn't find it. Is that in your? It was very similar to this. It looked very similar to this. So I assume it came from you.
You mean like a benchmark?
Benchmark.
Benchmark.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got.
Could we get that again?
For sure.
And then so that way Mr. Tessero can have it and look at it. Cause this is just the beginning of I guess about a month worth, well, it's less than a month of discussion. So
November 10th.
November 10th.
Well, we appreciate your time today. And reach out to us at any time if we can help you.
Sure.
We definitely have some follow-up, which we'll get back to.
Okay, wonderful, really wonderful. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for the
I,
time.
I hadn't called you in a while, just to give you a break, because I knew this was coming and we're gonna be talking again.
No,
So,
Where do you guys have to drive from?
Kansas.
Okay.
Yeah, one of those parts.
Nice drive.
Yeah, we've got quite a bit of business throughout the. It's all.
Good. Well, thank you.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
Thanks a
much.
lot. Thank you.
Appreciate your time. Have a great day.
Bye.
Thank you all.
So we are really not too far off schedule here. Mr. Merchant's in the back. Austin, you still with us?
I sure am.
Okay, the next thing on our agenda is an executive session with the sheriff and with you and the commission. Are you prepared for something like that?
Yes, sir, absolutely.
Okay, well, are you ready? Okay, and is that all that needs to be in here? Okay,
Yes, I
Well,
think so.
let me get back to my agenda so I can read this right. You have it in front of you. 20, yes.
Whatever.
But okay, so I have it written here. Is this? Sheriff Murch, I'll make a motion to recess into executive session for 20 minutes with the 3 commissioners, with Sheriff John Merchant and County Counselor Austin Parker, for the purposes of discussing necessary to protect the security interests. I mean, there's a few blanks in there, and what I need right now is just a little help. John, would you just come up here once you swallow your water? Sorry. Okay. He may not hurt you. Austin, we had Sheriff Merchants up here at the desk. I understand what we're going to discuss, but to go into executive session, I need a valid reason. What is that valid reason?
So we're going to discuss matters related to security measures. Okay. And if we get into it, then they could jeopardize security measures such as systems used in communication services. Okay. All right.
Okay.
And
Okay.
also, yeah, those are the
Okay.
reasons.
I'll make the motion then. Again, I'll restate my motion. I'm sorry. I had to get a little clarity.
No, you're fine.
Go into executive session for 20 minutes with the 3 commissioners, Sheriff Merchant and County Counselor Parker present for the purpose of discussing security measures with executive session necessary to protect the security interest.
That's right. And it also includes public buildings or facilities and the information systems related to it. So it's subparts A and C of subsection 12 of section 754319. I'm sorry, I
Okay.
sound like a lawyer.
No, that's all right. You have it in our minutes there, but is what I said adequate? Okay, so is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, motion carried. We're in for 20 minutes. We'll come back about 2:55. Thank you. Oh, we got 3:00?
Yeah.
Golden Bridge at 3. Okay, we're gonna have to come back. Guess we're gonna run out of time. We got him at 3, so.
Got you 5 minutes then?
We can, how about we do 4 minutes? That's,
We can
that's-
get her done in 4 minutes.
I'm gonna make a motion. We go back into 4 minutes with the 3 commissioners. Oh, we're back in regular session out of executive, no binding action taken. I'm gonna make a motion. We go back into executive session with the 3 commissioners, the sheriff and the county counselor present for the purpose of discussing security measures with the executive session necessary to protect security interest. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay, motion carried. 4 minutes. We'll be back 2:59 or 3 o'clock exactly. Thank you for the schedule reminder too.
I figured you needed to see this, so.
No, it's fine. It's fine. But you've got, okay, we're out of executive session. We're back into regular. There was no binding action taken. Do you have more current? You said there's, some of these are from 21. Is there? more?
Well, they're supposed to get it whenever.
But they're in
I'll make sure you
process.
get the updates when I get it.
They're in process.
Just
Okay.
email them, it's okay.
And so that's fine. And you've given this to me.
Just
to
keep
get-
all that. Yeah, he needs one, and you guys keep those. And if you have questions, give me a holler.
Thank you.
Okay,
very
thank you,
much.
fellas. I
Thank you.
appreciate it.
See you.
Thanks, Sheriff.
All right, we're still working on our 4 o'clock hard stop time. And it is 3 o'clock already. I don't know where the day went. Okay. Austin. Are you still here?
Yes, sir, I am.
So we've got a 3 o'clock road and bridge executive session.
Okay. Yes, sir.
You did?
Are you there?
Again, no,
I'm here.
Okay, are they here? Yeah, okay. All right. So Austin, we've still got this bridge inspections contract and a revised HAM agreement that are on our agenda that
Yes, sir.
would involve you. But we have a 3 o'clock with some employees here that are coming in. I assume that.
That's fine. I'll hang out until the next stuff comes up.
Okay. Okay,
not any about the work thing.
yeah. Is B and G the only option? Was that what I had? Yeah, that was my question. Somebody had that question, I think, because I have it written down.
I think they're good.
Hi.
Good.
Come on up. It's all right. Now, the county council's on the screen and we have you come up so we can hear you for the people in the meeting. So,
Sure.
hi,
Hello.
what's up?
Is this the executive session?
Not yet.
No, this is something you had something to say before we went in.
Well,
that
I
right?
do. I needed to,
He's there. His video's in and out.
okay,
videos in and
I
out, but
needed
he
to ask Austin if he got my email.
Which one, Tammy?
Either of them. And
I'm
then I tried to call you Friday too.
I'm looking through on the email. I am looking back. Yeah, it looks like the land purchase. I
Yeah.
saw that. I was in meetings on Friday out of town, and so I just wasn't back in the office yet. But yeah, we can connect on the land purchase. We can talk about it now, or we can talk about it offline later this afternoon. Either way.
Well, I just kind of needed to know because I sent certified letters to 2 people. And I've heard back from one of them, but they did get the letter on the second one, but I haven't heard from them. So what do I need to do next?
So if we send them certified letters, this is for road right of way. Is that right? In the email, I didn't have much other than that we were just looking at some land purchases.
No,
Is
because
this, what's that?
it's for a bridge.
Okay. So what I would do is if we're not getting back on the information, we already have our offer put together, right? On what, do we know what
Correct.
we're offering them?
Yes, correct.
So what I would do is I'm happy if they don't get back with you, you can get me on you can put me on the communication chain. Okay. And if they have a telephone number, I can call them or you can give them my number. They can call me back. But if they don't go on ahead and allow us to buy it, then we go through an eminent domain process. The costs go back. I hate to use the words eminent domain. That's almost like a 4-letter word. But the reality is that we get the ability to buy it, even if they don't want to give it to us. And it's usually about maybe 10 to 15% over what the appraised value that the county looks at it for the actual area of the property. So it's pretty close to what people are buying and selling easements and land for in the area. We kind of know what it'll be. But yeah, if they don't want to sell it to us, then we start on that in a jiffy.
Okay. Then
And-
I, I can get with you more later on it too, but I was just trying to find out what my next step needed to be.
Yeah, and by the way, on a couple of things very quickly, I got I met with Brady on the bridge alternatives, and he said he looked at a number of different bridge alternatives, but the cost versus the longevity of the bridge, steel versus going with the design, it's better to stick with the design that we're at because we're not going to get a lot of savings there now that we're in the program we're in. And I would say that Commissioner Richard, I hope it's okay. I don't mean to lean on you too much, my friend. We are in the land of governmental grant dollars. So getting this down to where it would be on a direct pay seems like we're climbing Mount Everest at this moment in time. I mean, he was thinking it might be $100,000 difference, which I didn't argue with him. He's our engineer. We're where we're at. You know, we've engineered this project.
We had an 80-20 or a 90-10 on that.
90-10.
Okay.
So I'm also
So
sort of like,
we're talking about $10,000 then.
yeah, at a 90-10, I mean, it's better to have the better bridge since we've already
Right.
got there.
Right.
So, so I looked at that, and by the way, I also reviewed the inspection agreement. It seemed very standard. It's the standard engineering form. I don't see any reason not to sign and approve that. If we don't already have that on the agenda for approval, we can do that next meeting, but it looks fine. Standard, true to form.
Okay.
That'd be the question, did you have that question, Bill? You want to ask it? Or do I need to?
Whatever.
Is B&G the only option for bridge, consulting?
No,
Inspection.
no,
Inspection, yeah.
no. We could go with Schwab Eaton. We could go with, there's probably 5 other engineering firms we could go with.
Austin, who have you worked with the most around here?
Well, BG's up here. I don't know everybody in the north central part of the state, but Schwab Eaton has a pretty decent office out of Manhattan. That's home base for them. I think Schwab Eaton's going to be pretty price competitive. You then get over into the Kansas City area. Black and Veatch gets expensive, but there's some other options surrounding Black and Veatch that are less expensive. I'd probably start the conversation if you're going to go out for bids. I'd look at Caw Valley out of Topeka, which is probably going to be your cheapest. They do some residential, commercial, and municipal work. Schwab Eaton out of Manhattan. And then I would also look over at, I'd still bid BG. I don't know that I would go to EPH. EPH is a Western Kansas firm. I don't always love everything I see out of some of the work there. You could go to, there was an old firm, Wilson and Company, that's still doing some work. Schwab Eaton was their municipal branch that came out of that. If you talk with PEC out of Wichita, I think that they're going to be overpriced. But those are the 4 or 5 firms that I would be thinking of. But I would probably stick with BG. I would look at Schwab Eaton, and I'd look at Caw Valley and maybe get 2 or 3 quotes and see what they would give you on all 3.
So pros and cons of a situation like this where they have a fairly established relationship with B&G, right? Pros and cons of, so many of the things that cross our desk, we actually don't get competitive bids. And,
All right.
But do you open up a can of worms here? If you would just solicit another company just for fun.
No, I don't think you open up a can of worms. The other question is there's firms there's a difference in footprint. Not that Kirk and Michael's a bad firm. Kirk and Michael's another firm that their business model is they're going throughout the state of Kansas, open up smaller offices to do work. They may not have all of the expertise in each office that they open up. Okay. So the reason why I identify, you don't want to do it every year necessarily, but if it's been a while, 3 to 5 years since you've looked competitively, it's not a bad idea to let people just have an overall conversation on what they would do to support all county infrastructure. Okay. Some of them are specialized.
All right, but you're gonna get other firms like even Olson that may look at portions of it. Okay, I'm throwing a lot of names out there. I'm sorry. There's some people that just do airports. Okay, but the reality is that if you go out to bid, it's not a bad. I wouldn't do it every year, but every 3 to 5 years, go out and say, look, we've got certain municipal services that we're looking to rebid for next year. What would be your package and what would be your engineering costs related to individual items and then bulk items? I think it's a good thing to get some bids every 3 to 5 years.
Winslow, sorry.
It also sends a message to everybody that's bidding to you that we're not just accepting, you know, the status quo. If they think that you're out there shopping numbers and trying to get a better bid, then it also makes them, can make them a little more aggressive, possibly.
This document said 21 in it, revised in 21. Is that the last time it was done?
Which document?
I'm just looking at this inspection document and
Oh,
it has and maybe it doesn't apply, just like a last BG consultant client LS revision June of 2021.
I assume that was just a standard. form.
Just a standard.
Yeah, it's their
Okay,
standard
okay,
form.
sorry. Do you happen to know when the last time the county would have solicited bids on something like this?
we did it, I know that one year, it was right before I started. We actually used a different company and they ended up losing some of our bridge files. And there was something else with them.
So did you compare this bid with their last year's bid, or year's bid?
Well, I had the 2 years ago bid. It's,
Terrible.
well, he said it was gonna be higher because was it NBI requires more information now? That was in that email, I believe. But I can get the other bid.
I think bids are not a bad idea. Like I'm just identifying even some additional firms that I haven't done so much work with. CFS engineers, I know of them. I just don't know Kevin Holland out of Topeka.
This
Yep.
is- Is that good?
I think
I'm just,
I'd probably, I mean, if you want to go out to bids, do we need to approve any of this today? What do you think? Should we go out for some bids?
Well, I know I'd like to talk with, I mean, we got two people that are directly involved here. It'd be neat to talk about it. I mean, I saw your head doing this. I didn't know what that meant. Does that, some of the names or like bad history or you just don't?
I thought CFS was one that.
Okay,
I thought we looked at that program before,
Exactly.
and he gets cheaper. Correct? We said, everybody said, oh. Come to find out, but it's, how long was that?
It's probably been two years, 2 to 4, because I've been here almost 5. And I know I still have the bids from 2 years ago. And that would have been for the inspections.
okay.
No, yeah, that's what we're talking about, because I've got the contract, but it hasn't been signed yet.
so when does the current contract expire?
I believe when the inspections were done.
Okay. You work with these guys then?
I don't know that we have to do this right
No.
I've only had one,
Okay.
It costs quite a bit of money to do those. I don't remember the word. There's 11 bridges in the
Fractured
county,
critical.
and then there's 186, I think, that aren't, and that's pretty routine, it sounds like, so. I mean, if we don't have to do it, more information, but I mean, I don't know, what's the preference here?
Well, I mean,
kicking the
again,
can,
you
it's
gotta,
just-
it's like anything, we gotta take into consideration the working relationship if our experience has been good with them also. I mean,
Sure,
if we're talking saving as a percentage, not a very large amount of money, then it doesn't sound like it sounds like we can focus on other places to save some money.
I see it as a lump sum fee of 49,000
Right.
and some change.
That's what I'm getting at, is if you look at what we're talking about here, it's,
I think if you're looking at their other projects, they've got a lot of work out of Manhattan. I think Salina is home base actually for Schwab Eaton. You know, this is there's other firms that we could go through next year. Maybe it's better to do this year, and then if we want to go out to bids, that might be the best thing, is to wait until next year to go out to formal bid and go with this year and move forward and see what we get.
I would agree with the dollar amount that we're looking at here.
Yeah.
Those are 11 bridges. I'm getting lost.
I know, I went through it. It was
These are
I'd be
180.
hard pressed to think that you could save more than $5,000 with anybody else.
Well, that's what I was looking at as a percentage.
Yeah.
You know, if it is a 10% savings by going with another company,
It's 49.
Yeah.
$4,900. That's what I'm saying. I don't think it's worthwhile too much right now. But I do agree that in the future that you start maybe seeking some other bids, just so we know.
So how do we schedule that then? We don't see the date book that says at this date in October of 25, so in September or August of 26, we need to be, or I guess it'd be 27 if it's is it a 2-year thing?
The fracture critical every year.
Every year.
I think.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess the way I'm reading the room is that we can approve this. We approve the bridge inspection contract as presented here with B&G Consultants.
I think you're right.
All right, so I would make a motion and we approve and go ahead and sign this contract with B&G Consultants as presented in our agenda. Is that right? Is that fair? Did I have a hard copy of that? I had moved over the insurance, I'm sorry. I moved it for the insurance.
No, that's all right. I had one turned in my.
So John, when they're doing those inspections, do they contact you, or they're just,
They're contacting county.
okay, so we know that they're,
Now,
I see.
Sometimes,
spring, we got an inspection done on bridge at Grand Valley, those railroads, high speed.
right,
They were bills for that. I think you just in the area and you check it.
no,
So there's something that, you know, we did with Richard.
Right, okay, good.
Okay, so here's one just for fun. It says here the owner has 186 bridges requiring a routine inspection. But in this contract, it says 184 county bridges and 1 city of Portland bridge. So we're missing one. That adds up to 185, and it says here 186. I mean, is that just a clarifier?
sure.
I don't know. You don't know? Okay, that's fine. I mean, I'm sure it's only one out of, but the numbers are just.
84, 195, show. I think 196 is the right number though, because we
Okay.
dropped to 197 2 or 3 years ago, and then this last year we dropped it one more.
Okay.
That's why I have a sticky note on my computer telling
Okay.
me how many
Okay, well,
bridges.
this is just written in red and on that sheet.
Oh, I see.
So that's the right number? If it
Yeah,
isn't, if it,
Yeah, because 184 plus 11 is 195 plus Horton is 196.
okay,
And I billed Horton for half their
Okay.
amount.
okay, well, I would still, I mean, given the explanation, I would make this question.
So this is kind of nitpicking, Austin. Do you have a copy of that contract?
Yes, I do.
On section 5.4,
Okay.
it says the client shall indemnify and hold the consultant and its officers and employees harmless if such and such, that's the first line on 5.4.1.
right?
Then it gets down to 5.413, but the consultant doesn't hold let's say they hold the client harmless. Is that? I mean, it looks like it left a word out in that line somewhere.
Those provisions of the hold harmless are written in favor of the engineer in some regards. There's some mutuality there where really you're talking about, and I don't have section 5.15 read it. I don't have it up right in front of me at the moment. I've only got it in a hard copy, and that's not in front of me at the second, although I do have it in the agenda packet. I can access that in just a moment. Forgive me. But I do, when I look at 5.14, okay, you're right that some of those mutual indemnifications are not always as mutual as they might be. These come off of these standard engineering firms, forms that they put out. We could go back and request that 5.14 be changed. Just give me one moment here. Got
It looks like they've been using this since 2021 or something.
2021, yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
probably,
but this is also so the engineers come out just like the architects do with standard forms, and then they have us use their standard forms. Okay, this is hold on here. So when you look though at the liability, there's a reduction of the liability 5.4. Okay, they say client shall indemnify and hold consultant harmless caused by client's breach, the negligence of client, okay, or its employees, and site access or damages to any surface or subsurface structures. Okay, client agrees to have its construction contractors agree in writing to indemnify and hold consultant from and against loss, personal injury, or damages. Okay, right, and then when you look back over the third aspect of it, okay, which you're talking about, 5.4.3. Okay. Consultant shall indemnify and hold client and its employees and officials to the extent from loss. Okay. It's only against, they're not indemnifying you against claims. Okay, so that means that we're going to have to defend. Okay. They did that on purpose. You're bringing up the absolute right. So we'll get our insurance company involved, and that'll go back and forth. Okay, from loss to the extent caused or incurred by the negligence, errors, or omissions of the consultant, its officers, or employees in the performance of services pursuant to this agreement. Okay, so, but you kind of have to put this stuff in context, okay, of what the potential loss would be. Their loss is they negligently inspected a bridge, and due to their negligent inspection, the bridge collapsed? Well, not necessarily. Due to the status of the bridge collapsed. I mean, really, that's where you're getting into the loss here. Okay, so let's say in Kansas, I'm sorry, I sound like a lawyer. In Kansas, we're a contributory negligent state, and so to the extent that and there is this concept of comparative fault, but to the extent that the negligent inspection of the bridge and the actual loss was caused by the work of BG Consultants, which should be a very fractionalized percentage, because basically what we're saying is that the BG Consultants' actions of not going on ahead and properly inspected failed to give the county adequate notice of the problems of this bridge, and any engineering firm with the level of precision that BG has will definitely identify any potential issues. So I see it very limited, right? Then a percentage of whatever that fault would be in that underlying case
could then come back against BG and their insurer. So I think that our risk here is very limited. It's different than if we had like, hey, you're gonna be our inspection engineer and we're getting ready to install a $1.8 million bridge. Wait a minute here, no, your liability extends to claims that relate to your negligence, not just claims, not just loss. Okay, but if it was a different contract for a larger dollar amount, then I would not want those terms to remain the way that they are. But you're seeing how this is a standard engineering form contract and it was prepared at the engineer's direction. So they make those little twists and turns of language, just like you identified, Commissioner Paul, that goes on ahead and puts the engineering firm at the ultimate advantage. Here, I think that we're in such a limited amount that we can improve it. And the risk is so limited, but if we're gonna go out and build like a $1.4 million bridge and they're gonna be our construction inspector, we're gonna change that language.
Yeah, Austin, as far as an indemnification clause in here, that's pretty short. Like you said, this is kind of almost a cut and paste from
Yes,
a short form contract. So usually the indemnification clauses that we get into that cause our insurance companies heartaches are pretty lengthy. This is fairly short, like you said.
yeah, and we all get back to our risk of loss here. I mean, like the
Right.
risk of loss is so limited here. Okay, it's inspecting a bridge, and then if a loss is caused by a bridge inspection, I could almost see no provision there. But we have separate insurance that kind of covers us on this. They've got a duty to do their engineering job. They try to risk mitigate that with this clause. I don't have heartburn with this clause in this contract. We have a different clause that comes out for construction inspection, right? We need to change that.
And so Bill, your question was a good question, but as far as, like he's saying, that's
not,
pretty reasonable for what they're doing.
okay.
Our liability, they're not constructing, they're not building and all that stuff.
So it just is kind of a red flag when I see it, when one party has one thing and the other party has less or whatever.
Yeah, but as our attorney said,
Uh,
there's a lot of indemnification clauses that I know that Austin would read and he goes, we're not signing any of that. And this
That's
one,
right.
does. Right.
This one doesn't fit into that. This one's okay. It's acceptable for this type of contract. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Fair enough. All right, so then in front of us, we still have, did I make the motion? If not, I'll make a motion again, because time has passed, that we move to approve this bridge inspection contract as presented with P&G Consultants. It's in the amount of $49,322.50. Is there a second?
Second time.
Okay, is there any more discussion? Yes. It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion carried. I'll sign, does it need to be noted?
No, it doesn't.
Nothing, okay, just
No,
sign and
just
drive,
sign.
okay. It's 10/20/20. Wednesday. Okay. Oh, you're welcome. That's done. Okay, what else?
Yeah. So John and I have been having a discussion about Kansas Municipal Utilities. They have it's called is it behind the wheel? Range. And John would like to go to be a CDL BTW instructor. Which, we were talking about Nathan, the school was going to be 5,500 plus hotel plus meals. To be a member of Kansas Municipal Utilities, the membership fee is $300. The course that John would need to take is 265. And it's just a 1 day. It's 11 to 2. Is that what you told me? 8 to 2.
It's still 1 day.
It's still 1 day.
Yeah.
And then we could have Nathan take the CDL entry-level driver training theory course, and that's only $800. So you're looking at $1,100 instead
So
of,
you would take a class to become an instructor,
and then Nathan would drive with him.
so he could get some experience, but, and then he would still go to Seneca or Topeka to take the actual test.
Pass their test.
Okay. Okay, so this enables you to be, for him to get some driving experience with you in the passenger seat.
Sure.
And, okay,
Anybody on?
okay. All right,
The $800 was for. When, for him,
What
the $800 part was for him to take,
was for Nathan's course?
okay, and that's from you,
No,
but.
Does that mean you can teach people how to do CDLs generally?
the driving part,
Really?
yes.
The walkarounds and everything else, they're still gonna have.
Well, yeah, because that's what the CDL entry-level driver training course is they learn the pre-trip inspections.
I found out about the city of Hiawatha, they're sending in an individual down the 29th of October for this class.
uh-huh,
I printed that out on that.
CDL.
uh-huh.
So I inquired about it, and they said, well, yeah, we can come down to the class, which is the 265. I would take the class and then I would get paperwork and everything, bring back and start testing driving tests with individuals that we hire on.
See,
But then once I feel they're confident to go to Wichita or McPherson and take the test and watch a video training down there, and then they have to be passed by 85%, 80%. Yeah. The first step is the register in KMU-CELEEL theory workshops.
uh-huh,
Pass KMU theory written test with a score of 80%. And then the third step is take the written knowledge test with the state and receive commercial learners permit. And at that point, we can start driving with me.
okay.
But it's,
That's outstanding.
So how long does your, basically, if you go through this, how long does it last before you have to renew it, you know?
I don't know.
Every 2 years,
Hear that.
2 years, step 5. On this page, on the orange, above the orange.
John would have to renew it every 2.
His instructor credentials must be renewed through KMU every 2 years.
Get it on.
Maybe that's online then, or? Just wondering what you.
Maybe
originally-
after, I don't know. I guess I didn't ask that.
To qualify, he has to hold the CDL for a minimum of 2 years. Check.
Yeah.
And holds the CDL the same or higher class associate for minimum. Check. Right?
So
Yeah,
I-
because he's got a class A.
Yeah. And so right now, a new hire that doesn't have an employee, there's no provision for that person to be behind the wheel. Training, then not legally.
No.
So this enables you to take
Right.
him out and, yeah,
And I didn't do that. Because of the accident, but so that's why I got such a one thing. Because it's kind of. So. It's gonna save a lot of money. I believe. Something.
Because 8 and 3 is 11, 265 is 1365, and we spent close to 10 in Lucas.
Oh, you're saving so much money, and quite frankly, if you were willing to do it, I'm positive that Nemaha County would enter into an agreement with you to allow one of their other drivers to ride. I mean, you could definitely make back whatever the savings were if you did this. I think you're in great shape. That's in terms of financial.
John's got a teacher's heart, right? This,
That person's gonna be tied with me. Till he gets enough hours, I feel confident that I can send him comparison.
to get it passed, yeah.
And if you can't, you know,
I mean, yeah, it sounds wonderful, so. The $800. That's a one day class.
Is Lucas's a one day or Nathan's? It's on with one person.
Nathan goes weekend, it's his. Yeah. It's a different deal. It's he's not there.
If he went to the,
CDL, ELBT.
right,
Lots of that.
this,
The theory, one day
this
workshop
one.
in McPherson.
He's gonna take the test for that. Correct?
He's going to,
Well, how about this? How about we work it out? I think it's a fine deal. I'm glad you come up with it. I would certainly be in favor of you. Go ahead.
on the 9th of October is last time.
yeah, that's the.
That's
other
what you said, right? That's the one you want to attend.
Right.
Does that, are you still farming? I mean,
No, I'll be done in about 4 hours.
4 hours. Okay. So, okay, so, but what I'm looking at here, you have one person in specific to help. If you get this certification, and he's taking a test somewhere else, or is he taking this same test? Is he going through this entire program?
He's-
You are ahead.
He's not going, he wouldn't go to the same class that John has.
Right.
He'd go to the CDL theory.
He'd go to the theory class on the 28th of October, or would he go the 28th?
Well, he'd have to wait and go next year
Next year,
now.
okay. All right, well, so
Because it says the first
do you need,
step is to register and attend the CDL ELDT theory workshop.
do you need approval from us as a board that allow you to do this, to be an inspector?
Well, you're the first grade. That'd be a member.
Yeah, but she's the best.
We're not a member of the camp.
We're not. That's what 300 a year is
That's the 300, and then
Yes.
there's a 265
for John's
for you,
class.
and then the first person to go through it, which will be Nathan next year, will be $800.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys have a feeling either way?
No, I think it's a good idea.
Okay, well, I would make a motion then. Guess number, can we make it do several parts, or you want one at a time, become a member of the? Okay, we'll make a motion then to, unless somebody else would want to.
You're doing
So, okay, so any memberships, is a year from when you join, or is it renewal? January 1st?
In other words, is it calendar year, is it?
Right, we didn't get that far, it's not that big a deal.
I think, no, because she said that we could become a member right now. So he could get enrolled.
And you renew them.
Is that what you were asking about?
Versus getting stuck in January again. Yeah, okay.
This can all happen before October.
Yes.
I would make a motion, we pursue this driver instructing program through the Kansas Municipal Utilities. Allow John to take the certified instructor credential course. And I guess proceed with the next step as far as the employee. That makes sense? Okay, I make that in form of a motion. Is there a second? Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carried. So that's wonderful. You'll take care of all the
Yes.
signing and paperwork, okay? Okay, now you were here for this executive session, is that? Okay, we still. Okay, now what, this is executive session, road and bridge is what it says. What am I doing here? The duties and who's present? Okay. Okay, I would, for how many minutes? 5 minutes. Okay, so I'll go into, make a motion. We go into executive session with the 3 commissioners, county clerk, and road and bridge foreman, John Sellen, for 5 minutes to discuss duties. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Okay. Motion carried. We'll go in. We'll be back around 3:45.
Austin would not.
No.
He's not, okay.
I'm on, but I'm gonna be off for the next 5 minutes. I'm just gonna turn off all
I
volume.
forgot you were even there. I'm sorry.
No problem.
So that gives them the harm to find out.
Okay, we're out of executive session. We're back in the regular with no binding action taken. But I think you have the thrust of what we need to do. Okay. And then ASAP, I guess, on your side, right? Yeah. Is that it? Anything else? Okay, we have this snow removal discussion. We are running out of time. We try to do this by 4. I mean, do you want to stay for that while you're here? Might, or not, I mean, whatever.
Whatever.
Of course you want to stay for this.
No.
He's
You
looking
wanna
at the
go
clock.
help mine too, so.
About the bigger point I got.
Okay,
Well, we can fill you in. We'll get your acres of corn.
That'd be fine. Some gas is on our list.
Okay.
He's already a part-time employee.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
that's a good one. He's a good one.
that should be by that time, well, I don't know, depends on those folks.
Okay, all right, well, thanks for coming in. Happy harvest.
Yep.
Thanks, John.
All right. So we're still gonna have that discussion. All right. Okay, so is Austin back online?
You should, yeah.
Austin, he's muted on his end. That's all right. We may have lost him. Okay, where were we? Minutes, payroll, bridge, we've done that. We've still got this ham agreement. Just for your info, when they changed, he made a change to the fuel surcharge numbers. When I read that number, it looks like it went to the county's disadvantage. Did I read that wrong? Okay, so yeah, if you change did you think the same thing mathematically?
Yeah, so I thought a fuel charge was when the price got above a certain rate. But this, way this is written, it looks to me like we're paying for the fuel whenever they haul the stuff for the full amount.
So it says the contractor will implement a charge if the cost of diesel fuel is higher than $3.30 per gallon as posted for the Midwest. From the Midwest, or
Yeah.
for the Midwest from the Energy Information Administration. So
Yeah.
that's what if the price of fuel is higher.
We're gonna less. Well, but if you read that, if you take the number of trips times the round trip miles times the average price. It doesn't say anything about average price over a certain budge. But it,
You getting there?
Yeah, I
It's
am.
page 76.
76, that's what I was
There you
thinking.
go. You were right there. Let me see. I sent Austin a message if he responds.
So has this clause been in all their contracts on the fuel surcharge?
Everyone I've seen, except we changed the number from 350 to 330.
330.
And my concern is by taking that down, we've actually increased
Yeah, absolutely.
and I thought we were going,
well,
the intent was to go a different direction.
I always thought fuel charge was when the price got above a certain rate. But
Right.
if you figure this formula, it says you're paying for the whole price. It doesn't say times 330 plus whatever, I mean, minus,
It should be average monthly price minus 330. That's what it should be.
that's what I think,
Yeah, they're missing a minus.
right?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
That was my big concern.
Yeah, and I didn't catch that as much as I thought, well, if it's 350. Then, I mean, we're paying for an extra 20 cents on it. And that wasn't the intent of what we did there.
No, it wasn't.
So,
So who deals with ham? Who's the one that's actually? Is that,
Don Pounds
Is that
has been
Don?
doing a lot of it,
Okay.
and Don was working on this contract and he gave it to Austin and Austin.
We mentioned this last time, but You're right. We went the wrong way.
Went the wrong direction.
Okay, so do we have a relationship with this guy so we can explain?
Yeah, I think so, with Jeff Ham is his name, I don't know.
Okay.
But it was right there. Then they added the calendar and the duration, so, and they changed the venue for arbitration or legal stuff to Brown County,
Which is good.
but I'm not able to raise him here. You can hear the clock ticking in this room too. It is so quiet.
Okay, so you think it was a clerical error on his part, right?
Well, I'm not sure.
Well, originally, I think maybe,
Okay.
but.
Are you
that's
guys
not-
there?
Hey, all right. Hey, Austin. Oh, sorry about that. Are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
You're a little broke up, but we can hear.
I'm here.
Okay, all right. We've moved
Hi,
on to,
I'm here. Can you hear me?
hello.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, can you guys hear me? I'm in a bad cell area.
Yeah, we hear you.
That's the problem. Okay, good. I'm trying to get to somewhere better, but it's a terrible area that I'm in. I
We're looking
apologize.
at, we're looking
Anyway,
at
can you hear me now?
the Ham agreement that was
Uh-huh.
presented on the agenda. The changes made. Our concern is the adjustment to the fuel surcharge worked in the county's, against the county's benefit. And it's actually the formula where it's computed is not complete. It's missing in which it would be page 76 is what I'm looking at. Number 8, fuel surcharge. There in the equation, it should say the average monthly price minus $3.30 a gallon. And there's no subtraction sign in there.
Hold on here. I've got that. Just 1 second.
All right.
I
And
am
then-
I'm in it.
I thought before we changed this contract, the base fuel price was $3.50.
Yeah, that's what it was supposed to be, was that there was just a $3.30. It's a fuel charge. Yeah, base diesel fuel price, $3.30. Base is a future price. Okay. So average monthly price for the Midwest as posted from the U.S. Department of Energy, 5.5 trips times miles times average monthly price, $3.30 a gallon divided by the trips. Okay. So what they're saying is this is a contractor will implement a fuel surcharge for all loads hauled by him to be added to the monthly disposal cost when the cost of diesel fuel is higher than the $3.30 a gallon as posted. The fuel surcharge will be calculated as follows: $3.30 a gallon. Okay. We were at $3.50, but we requested to go to $3.30, which doesn't necessarily work in our benefit.
No.
Okay, but this is the exact same that it was before. So I requested, when we talked about it, we said, can we go to $3.30 instead of $3.50? This doesn't necessarily help us. So I think you could easily say, hey, the governing body wanted to go back to $3.50 instead of $3.30 and approved it subject to the $3.50 change. And I think that they would sign on that immediately.
We must have got our wires crossed. If I remember the conversation, it was that the fuel surcharge, it didn't go both directions. If the contract was based on a $3.50 average price and the real price was $3.30, shouldn't the fuel charge, shouldn't there be a reimbursement? I think that was the idea, and it just didn't turn out that way
Yeah, and I tried to negotiate some for that. I've never seen that happen. I've never seen them reimburse after you set a base fuel price. I think $3.50 is a higher number. And I don't know, Commissioner Richard, if you've seen a base price where there's a reduction in the rate, I've never
No.
seen one. I'm usually only negotiating for a higher. I don't usually get a
Right, I was
reduction.
gonna say, it usually doesn't go both ways, but that's why you want the number to be higher than what you, so right now, obviously, the trend is diesel. Do we believe that diesel's gonna be above 350 while he's doing this? That's the whole thing.
I don't know. I think that I would go, I mean, I think 350 is reasonable. It's on a yearly contract. So, I mean, if we did this, we're only betting for a year.
Well,
And we
that's
can
what I'm
say,
getting
hey,
at
well-
is- So do we have the right, Austin, in private contracts, I could strike that, write it in, initial it, and then sign it, and then they would approve it with the initial and the strike, or do we have to send it back out?
Oh, no. Approve it with 350 now. Go for it. And
Yeah.
just, strike it and initial it. That's totally fine.
You understand, Lucas? Just make it simple, and you basically, you've dealt with these people enough, you think that that's not a deal breaker with them, is what I'm hearing.
They were fine at 350. They
Yeah.
were fine at 350. I think we're just fine there.
So are we paying, the way I read it, we're paying,
You pay nothing.
we don't pay anything unless it's over,
350.
but like, or you said, it looks like I'd be a minus, an average monthly price minus 350 is what the fuel charge is. Fuel charge shouldn't be 350 times a round trip and
I mean, the way that I read it is, it says there's a base price. The base is the future price. Number of trips time the round trip time the average monthly price, $3.30 a gallon, divided by 5.5. For all loads hauled by Ham to be added to the monthly disposal cost when the cost of diesel fuel is higher than $3.30 a gallon. Okay, so what I would say, what I would do is I would say, when you're initialing next to that, to just make it clear, average monthly price, put above that, average monthly price above 330 gallon minus, or above 350 gallon minus 350 in the parentheses. That way you show that it's like a 20 or a 30 or 40 cent instead of it being 350 or 360 or 370. Does that make sense, commissioners, what I'm suggesting I would put in there? Okay, that way that it's just clear that it's only 20 or 30 or 40 cents, which we're talking about maybe $7, $8 every time it's above that. I mean, this contractual risk is probably less than $500 a year at most.
yeah, so just make sure we're just paying more, what the price over 350. And
Yeah.
not the 350.
That's correct.
Okay, so and everything else in the contract was acceptable, or the changes made
Yeah.
that needed?
Yep,
Okay,
absolutely.
so does anyone make a motion? Do you want to make a motion to approve it if you?
Yeah, it was just, so one other question, so how long has Ham been hauling for the county? You know?
Oh, it's been, well, I don't know exactly, but I think it's been well over 20 years, almost 30 some odd years.
Okay,
They operate, so Ham, I found out about Ham a little bit more. Commissioner, you'll probably appreciate some of this background. Ham was independent, then they sold out their road and bridge operation. They're a heavy aggregates company.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
of course, sure.
Yeah, and then they sold out to private equity up until like 2 years ago, and then private equity sold them out again to Quikrete, which is a huge privately owned company. So it's not PE. So they're operating more. This is they still operate the landfill. Okay, so this is still the Hams as a family, but they're entrepreneurial. They've been doing this for 30 some odd years. I think they're decent people, it seems, from what I can tell. But they've been doing this for 30 years. I don't know them well, but I know their reputation. So I think that this is more of a relationship contract than anything else.
Sure.
They know we're on a year to year. So I think if you did this and you made those initial changes, I think you'd be fine.
Okay.
Okay, good background.
Yes, sir. All good.
Thank you.
Are you ready to proceed?
Do we have to I think there's a lot of. The basic, I mean, there's a lot of clerical errors in there, I think, that could be addressed, but the basic. Basic part of it, I agree with, but.
Okay.
I don't know who wrote it up, but it looks like it's a.
Does it need a little?
I did not write it up. I read it and I said, this is close enough to good. I mean, it looks like I think
Okay.
it's a form, it looks like it works acceptable on a relationship basis for a year-to-year contract.
All right,
Okay.
well, I would make a motion and we approve this, provided we change the base diesel fuel price to $3.50. We approve this agreement with Haynes. Is there a second?
I second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carried, man. And I am going to do that if that's all right. I can just in ink.
Yeah,
Uh,
do it. Go
and then
for it.
just initial it?
Initial, yeah.
Okay,
And I would make that note that, and then I also there make the note, average monthly price above 350 or above 350 minus 350. So you're not paying the full diesel price. There you go. In the formula line, because that's the way the contract reads. So.
okay.
Say, we're referring back to the
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's make
we
it.
just had a miscommunication.
I mean, we're dealing with a company we've been dealing with for 20 years and we're doing a year to year. So I think that the potential risk is pretty low.
Very low. I think these guys are just,
So
I
they're-
mean, if you met the gentleman on the phone, Jeff, you would say, this is somebody we've been working with. We're going to work with them for a long time.
Sure.
We have two places to sign here. This one. Are you aware, Nikki, on this second page where it says a user, it just has a date. I just put the date on.
This one, that's where it's going to come out. Do that. Take it.
All right, and then there's places for you to on this. This one's this. Okay, sorry, that's a mess. All right, that's done. Austin, we have on our, we still have a snow removal discussion in the 2026 holidays. Does Nemaha County holiday schedule, is it the same as Brown County, which is the same as the state, which is the same as Donovan County? Is that how it works?
I think pretty much. I mean, I don't know. Did we take off Columbus Day in Brown County?
We work Columbus Day.
It was exchanged for Juneteenth. Is that correct?
Yeah.
That's what we do. I don't know whether they take Juneteenth off or not in Nemaha, but I think that we're running the state schedule. If not, I'm going to recommend that we run the state schedule next year if we do that. So.
Okay, it says the state took President's Day off the holiday list and made a discretionary day for 2026.
I don't dislike that. I think employees can use that around the Christmas, Thanksgiving holiday as a discretionary. I think that's why they did it, because they don't do the day after Thanksgiving anymore, do they?
Yeah, they
Yes,
do.
we do.
Oh, they do? Well, I've seen that. I've seen other places do that discretionarily. I like that. I'm probably going to recommend we do that over in Nemaha County. I don't know exactly what traction that'll get, but I think it'll probably get traction of some sort to get it adopted. I have a feeling we'll do that. So I think it helps with Christmas and Thanksgiving, and there's certain days that are, but then the problem becomes, what are you doing with, I don't know. I mean, President's Day it's a fine holiday. That's all I'll say. I mean, if anybody really wants to celebrate George Washington's birthday, I suppose they could still take President's Day off. I mean, they could manually do that, but I do think that having a floater instead of that's probably reasonable.
All right. So we either move ahead or we table it and talk about it next week.
I say we talk about it next week.
Is that all right?
Yeah, I got.
Okay.
Waiting on that one of the kind of the same theirs.
Oh, okay. You're already on top of it. Okay, we'll table that till next week. No big deal. Then I would, then number 9 on my list here was, I would like to make a motion unless I've been making all these motions today, and I hate to do that, but
You do a good job.
me. All right, well, then I'd make a motion to make our pay rate, our commissioner's pay rate as discussed for the 2026 budget effective for the next pay period. So.
That's an appropriate motion, just like that.
Okay, all right, is there a second?
I second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any more discussion? And all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay, that carries.
That was, um, I have to look up this stuff.
Well, I don't have the budget stuff in front of me either, but we ended up, we took $2,000. Yeah,
Gonna need to up-
essentially we'll change it to what we budgeted for next year and we'll do it in the year.
Yeah.
Okay, effective next pay period. All right, we did this, Talking about this, we're at 4:06. I've broken my promise. You had something else for us? We have this meter. All right. Can't stop the sound, I'm sorry. We had an email, was that an email, I believe? This is the meter at the museum at 611 Utah.
Yeah,
Are you familiar with this? Did you get this email?
no, I did not. If I did, I haven't dug into it yet, so I apologize.
You didn't get it. It's coming.
Okay,
What is our? 15 days. We got 15 days. We got till the 30th of October. I'm just
what
gonna,
do we have to do with it?
well, we've got a low usage meter and it's gonna cost us $2,400 to keep this meter on the transportation service rate. Yeah, anything on there, man, grab it and read. Did you read that email?
Yeah.
I guess to keep it on a commercial rate?
Yeah, we can do a third party, Constellation. For. Yeah. We don't need. Yeah, the gas just works it in. So we buy it, purchase it from Constellation because we get a better rate.
Okay.
Than just the jail, the courthouse and the museum. We pay the museums people for the gas, and then they reimburse us, we just send them a copy of the bill. For the portion.
Okay, so when we want to consult with our third party supplier, that's Constellation. Okay. And we want us, whether the additional monthly charges and the $2,400 makes sense economically. How do we do that? How do we reach out to Constellation?
Wait a minute, are we buying bulk energy supplies? Are we buying bulk electricity off the grid?
This is Kansas Gas.
Oh, okay, are we buying? Okay, well, I don't know. I mean, I think you're, the only reason why we'd be going with Constellation is if we're prepaying for gas. I guess we're doing it as a commercial entity. That's what this is. I don't know. Does this make any sense to you, Commissioner Richard?
No, it doesn't. I was thinking the first thing I'd be doing is going to the gas company and talking to them about it.
Yeah, this is ridiculous. I don't know why we'd be, I mean, Constellation is one of the 3 bulk marketers of gas off the pipeline. Like, I don't know why KGS is sending this to us. We should probably call them. This doesn't make any sense to me at all.
Yeah, so they're wanting to put a telemetry device in, is the way I'm reading it. And if we don't
Okay.
do it, if we don't respond, they automatically do it. Failure to return the signed form or to decline telemetry installation in writing. Basically, we're accepting it if we don't decline this. And so it looks like
So they
we're getting into a 15-year contract with this, is what it is. So what is our drop dead date to?
I don't know. I mean, I'd like to find out from Kansas Gas Service.
That's what I would recommend is that one of us, I would have no problem going to the Kansas Gas Service. I'd like to get some more information on it. But basically, they're trying to install a telemetry device and they're saying if we don't get back to them, they're just gonna go ahead and do it. And it looks like a 15-year commitment, so.
This is ridiculous. I think you should, Commissioner Richard, if you feel comfortable calling him, I'd call him and find out why it is that we're not just a regular customer of KGS.
Right.
Why are we a bulk buyer of gas for a low flow meter? That's ridiculous. Okay.
Nikki says we combine with the jail and the courthouse and it reaches a level of usage where it makes sense.
Oh, okay, Nikki, I'm sorry. I didn't, okay. That makes sense. Okay, well, maybe we should still find out why they want to put a telemetry device on our meter. I mean, I'd still try to find that out. I could see that. I could see that. All right,
That,
there we go.
Anyways, but they just go straight through Kansas Gas and that big constellation.
Yeah.
I don't know how that even started.
Are you gonna call?
Yeah, I'd like to just go down there and just get a little bit more information. So it says within 15 days. Okay, so we just need to do it right away.
I think they emailed me on Friday, so.
Okay. Well, if it's okay with you guys, I'll drive down to the Kansas Gas Service and get a little bit more background on it. And then also have them take a look at the way we're doing it right now with splitting everything up. If there's, I did.
That's the way.
That's perfect. Okay. All right, so
Sounds good.
table this. Okay, is there anything else? Anything else?
Do you want to talk to him about this really meaningful discussion? Do we need just a simple, something, one page contract right after people are on?
Would you like me to talk to him about it since we're?
Go ahead.
So Austin, what we're talking about, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to step on you there. We are coming up with a plan B for snow removal to have a list of pre-approved, basically contractors, they'd be a 1099 employee, correct? That we could get in here prior to wintertime, that in the event we have a large snowstorm, these 4 or 5 individuals could be called and they would, they could drive the county equipment and they could help with the snow removal process. And
So I
so
like that.
what we're trying to do is I'm trying to keep as much bureaucracy out of this as possible. So we're looking for a simple form that we could have them sign, they could enter into that would satisfy our insurance company. We would have their CDL license on record. And then also what I would recommend is that we bring them in and we have them, we do a walk around with the equipment that they would be possibly using and make sure that everybody's up to speed, that there's no learning curve. We're going after individuals that are heavy equipment operators already that that have CDLs. And so what do we need to do to satisfy the county's insurance company to bring these people on? So in the unlikely event of an accident, we would be covered and they wouldn't say that there was a problem.
See, I don't think we have to do much. I mean, I think the shortest form I ever did was a half page for people that were going out and registering the number of people that used a bicycle for the city of Wichita. This is like years ago. I think we could do something like a half, 3/4 page where it says you're an independent contractor agreement that you fall under county, applicable county insurances not related to employees. Okay, you give us a waiver for whatever you might do that causes negligence and let them operate. I wouldn't do anything more than that. I wouldn't get any more complicated than that. These are people doing us a favor on the county equipment. It's better than just saying, come off the street, do it. I mean, I think about a half sheet of paper would be about what I want to do with this.
Okay. So is that something that,
Oh, yeah.
you'd be able to drop and that we could approve and start using?
Yeah, I think I could have that for next meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, something very short. Like you don't want, the longer here, the worse it is. I mean, we're you could do this without a sheet of paper, but it's good that we go on ahead and have them engage. And then they also probably, they're not employees, they're 1099, so we don't have to do any of that 99 stuff, but we do need to basically treat them like independent contractors and give them a 1099 miscellaneous income form at the end of the year if they do any snow removal.
Okay,
All right. Simple as that.
sounds good.
Okay. Anything else? Any other business? I have some. Nobody else has any? Okay, and I didn't get to talk to you either. One of the things that we brought up and we made a motion when we were just the two of us was about the election office and the clerk's office and their pay raise taking effect immediately versus the first of the year. Now, we voted on that and we voted separate. Did you fully understand what we did there? I mean, I sat and thought about it. Trying to, I guess in the spirit of trying to reward people for doing what we asked them to do. And for taking on more responsibilities. I mean, I kind of thought we should make theirs effective like we did with some of the other folks throughout the courthouse. And I guess I'd like to bring it back up for more discussion. Do you have any input? And I'm not trying to railroad you. I feel like we made a little misstep there and I'd like to at least try and fix it.
I think the election officers paid like on a separate thing. Maybe that's. Yeah.
Well, help me understand.
There's election pay and there's clerk pay.
Mhm.
Always. Oh, pay.
So as I understood it, we eliminated the deputy election clerk. And I mean, this is, I believe this is right, and then we took those duties and just added them to the three women that are already there. Is that right?
But they were doing that before.
So that part I don't understand, I guess. If they were doing it before, why do we have a deputy election clerk?
So that,
I mean,
so they. Well, I understand, they thought. If they thought they needed it, but then they don't, so I don't know.
so for instance, we've got an election coming up in November, boom, we have two events. So I would assume your office, the election side, has taken on more duties to count them. Now, if we'd have still had a deputy election clerk, would the deputy election clerk been working up there with you?
Yeah.
Good. Okay, that's the part where I'm not seeing it the same way you are, I guess.
I just know when we raised the clerk's pay one time, for them, they weren't taking into that is caused the big. So of course they could stay together. Think about that. I don't know. We want a house more people.
Okay, well, I thought the way the math worked out with the positions that we cut and the raises that we gave, it actually, everything sort of balances out. Or it's close.
Look at the treasurer's salary and clerk salary and auditor salary. We're pretty close now. We got,
Okay, so then I'll come at this a different place. When I asked as part of the budget process for people to do more in the county, they'd take on more responsibility, there would be more pay. And so we passed that budget with the assumption of that. And I mean, we've got people here that are directly, involved with this. So we eliminated some employees, and then to cover for the extra workload on the people that stayed, we raised their pay. So the election office, to my understanding, we already terminated the employee, that's done. And so the election is happening today or next month. Then the work is happening, but the pay raise is going to happen, but it's gonna happen the 1st of January. But the work started early. So the other departments in my head, we made that same ask, they made the adjustment. And then department after department came in after that happened, and they all, I think it's 1, 2, 3. we decided to go ahead and make their salary increases effective that next pay, but we didn't do it with the clerk in the election.
But what we're getting now is pretty close to. Pretty close to the same.
But it's gonna change.
Well,
It's gonna change in January. No, I mean,
So-
there's nothing we can do
so
about
I
it.
guess the election first needs more money, and that ought to come out of the election budget. That'll be under the election, not under the food stuff.
But the election clerk did more than just elections, they did other records and intangibles and homestead filings, like they did more than just election, they did other things. But
So. Can I say something here?
Yeah.
So. The way I look at this is the agreement, you guys have already passed the budget prior to I got here and before I got here, and that's going into effect next year. And under that new budget, that raise is going into effect. And basically what you're saying, Lucas, is we've already made the cuts and some of the courthouse is already receiving basically a small upgrade in an effort to try to get everything working together and try to get everybody pulling on the same team because we have to make cuts across the board like we did. And so there are a few employees that didn't go into effect already. Is that correct?
That's the way I see it.
Yeah, and so. And you're basically asking to have a vote and whether or not we bring their pay up like the other employees prior to the end of the year, correct?
Mhm.
Okay. So my opinion on that is that, you have to. Because otherwise now you've got, you've got employees that are looking around going, well, why doesn't it affect us? Why are we different? We're trying to move forward. I think you guys have done a good job on looking at the budget and saying we have to make cuts, and we've done that. But we also don't want employees that are not being compensated fairly. And we're talking about another 2 months, basically, right?
Mhm.
And so if you want to create a better atmosphere, I think the 2 months upgrade is worth what you're trying to do. I think we'll get more out of it than saving the money that we're gonna save for 2 months,
Yeah.
my opinion.
So it's gonna go in effect or in January anyway.
That's correct.
The pay raise goes effective in January, the additional work will be made into effect. Immediately.
So it's a. Treasurer get her pay raise into.
That wasn't part of it. But it's not part of it anyway, either in January, it's not gonna happen one way or the other.
Right. And that's what.
So we made an ask and then we made some demands. But the conditions of that ask and those demands were additional responsibilities should come with additional reward. And all of that was going to start the first of the year. But since some terminations happened immediately, the question was asked, well, if I gotta do the work today, why do I have to wait for tomorrow to get the pay increase? And so we've got 1 out of 4, to the best of my count, here, that 3 out of 4 got that and 1 out of 4 didn't. And I'm just trying to level it out. But I think I understand what you're looking ahead about some other problems that may or may not happen anyway, but I don't think it's anything to do with it right now. It's coming in the well.
So you said 3 got, so the appraiser got a raise.
The appraiser, we raised the services for the elderly and we raised IT.
But we'd already cut the clerks. The actually one at the clerk's office had already. She wasn't working up there anymore.
She's still, well, she's still in the budget.
She wasn't. So. They like
they're
that.
in the budget last year.
I thought, so the mechanics of this was was, she was in the room.
Right.
And then, but because the election work, well. Nikki, maybe you can explain this better than me. I still think bottom line is if you had 4 groups that were asking more work out of, and 3 of them got there. Everyone was the pay raise was, well. I can't, I'm fumbling now. I
No,
can't
I-
explain it any better.
I mean, I think it's as simple as we've already made a commitment to the other employees. We need to keep our commitment with the one that didn't get it or few that didn't get it. Right, and we're really talking about 2 months of increase. It goes into effect in January. And as managers, I think you have to look at the goodwill and how you get people to buy into, hey, the county is in a budget crisis. Going forward, we're gonna have to do certain things, but if we ask more work of you, we'll also help you out.
And in the end, dollars and cents.
Dollars and
The
cents.
county has spent less money for the same labor.
Correct. Correct. And so I think that, I think you want everybody rowing in the same direction, and this is a way that you achieve that.
Remember that last time? Where we did this, not good.
There may be some of that coming, but there may not. But as far as this is concerned, I don't know that they. So. Do you want, I mean, I would make it in a motion. Would you like to make a motion? Would somebody else like to make a motion? I keep doing it.
I think you make the motion,
All right, well, I would make a motion that we adjust the clerk and election department salary. We make those raises effective. I mean, immediately, is that the right way? Do you?
Yes, I think so. I'd make it effective with a rate immediately.
Austin, I forgot you're still here. Again, so some of the other raises took effect a little sooner, but how do we handle that the right way?
I think you could also say you could make them retroactive with the other dates. So you could say, hey, this was this pay rate will go back and be effective as of the date of the other ones. And then you've brought it, and then they'll pay that out accordingly with whatever the next pay period is. It's a Nikki question in terms of bookkeeping, her and the treasurer. Okay, but I think you could make it retroactively effective and then let them figure out what that means in terms of how they pay it out on the next pay period.
So it's important to me that we work together and we do this right. I was hesitant to do this because I don't want to railroad you. I think, like Richard said, to try and promote harmony here and get everybody rowing in the same direction, we just slipped up a little bit. And
I think you've got to do this. I'm sorry. I want to listen to and not talk all the time, but I do want to say, I think you need to do this.
Okay. All right, well, I mean, it means a lot that we're able to talk about this stuff. We may not see eye to eye, but I'm not trying to pull one over on you. Okay, are you okay? I'll make a motion then that we adjust the clerk's office and election office salary raises, and we make to the new budgeted figures, and we make that change effective basically at the same time the other departments were given their raises, so that.
Yep.
So it could even everything out. Does that motion make sense?
It does.
Okay, is there a second?
Second it.
Okay, is there any more discussion? Okay, then all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion carried, then that's done. All right, thank you, everybody. That's behind us. Okay, is there anything else to come before the commission here at 4:29 in the afternoon?
The insurance, we did already have a separate fund set up for surplus.
Mhm.
So you want us to cancel it. Your dates, or you want to wait till what's up over?
I think as long as it's, I mean, just to keep the ledger clear, as long as it's done by the end of the year, I don't think it's gonna really change a whole lot. It's just, the whole idea is to have that earmark so it doesn't get used.
Right.
And that way that any kind of a savings, any kind of a prescription rebate like you were talking about actually makes sense in a line item next year when we're looking at it.
Well, and 1 year savings may just cover next year's expense.
Possibly, yeah.
But then we should be able to get yours off there or something too, separate. That goes back in that same one, right?
I said, I don't know about that. I guess we'd have to take a look.
All right. Okay.
I'm just trying to keep bookkeeping a little bit more clear.
Bookkeeping is not clean. It's hard to keep it all clean. But is there anything else to come before the commission? Any other business? I checked all mine off. Austin, do you have anything for us?
Yes, I do have one thing I want to make note of. I have gotten information, like I said, on the bridge. I've gotten that back. I'm working on an issue regarding, how we work within our Hiawatha Hospital, concerning, treatment of individuals that are incarcerated or becoming incarcerated. I'm working on that with the, Hiawatha Hospital, and I've been in contact with Sheriff Merchant on that, and they just sent me over some draft procedures on that. Other than that, nothing that I need to talk through today. I just wanted to let you know that's going on.
Okay. All right. Well, you've got a couple of things to do. You were going to look at. No, where's my? Oh, we did that. What was Austin gonna do? I didn't write it down in my notes. I had a specific thing for him. You remember, Bill? Austin, what's your list look like for next week? Could you say it again, please? I'm sorry.
No problem. For next week, I'm finding out what's going on with the Hiawatha County policy. That's part one. Part two is we're talking through, there's going to be some more information after executive session from the sheriff that I think will come back related to security issues. Part three, we've gotten the ham contract sewn up. We approved these are items that all came up during the meeting. We approved the bridge inspection contract. We looked at FAS 51 options. I got that word back from the engineer.
Okay.
And that FAS 51 option for construction is within $10,000 of our local match. So we're just going to stick with that. We're not going to change any of that. I got back from Evergy some word. I had a meeting with Evergy this week. I didn't report on this yet, but I had a meeting with Evergy this week, and they're looking at it. I asked them to give us some as-built design characteristics. It's a very small area that these things are going in, but it's where 2 poles and an anchor is going to be installed. So I asked for some as-builts to go back on that. They're looking at that internally, and they're going to get back with me what that means, but I had that meeting with them. And other than those things, it was really, you're probably thinking of the thing in executive session with the sheriff. Commissioner, I can't go into any more of that because it was.
No, that's fine. I'll tell you what I was thinking. Yeah, exactly. Was making the contract for the part-time snow removal. The last thing we talked about, I just blanked on it. I'm sorry.
Oh, well, I did. I'm glad you brought that up. That is, I have that on my list. So my list this week is the half-page contract for snow removal, and then following up with the sheriff as needed, and then there may also be a little bit of follow-up. And also the Amber Well Health. What's our response with the sheriff back and forth? Those are my 3 main to-do items this week.
Okay. Right on. Any questions for him? Austin, we held on to you a long time. Thanks for sticking with us.
No problem. Thank you for the flexibility.
Bet. We'll see you next week then.
See you next week.
Okay.
Thank you, Austin.
Thanks, guys.
Did we need to do anything with the two committees that
One
we-
other thing, guys, for next week. I am, are you guys still with me? Did I lose you?
Yeah, we got you.
Okay. I either will be by Zoom or I will have to leave probably by 2 o'clock to 2:30, somewhere in there. It depends. I have another meeting commitment that I have to be to later that evening, and so I just wanted to give you a heads up on that. Okay.
Well, use your discretion. I do have this document though from the sheriff that he'd like you to have. I don't know.
Oh, I'll be by to pick that up. I'll be there. I'll either be there at the meeting in person or for part of it, or I'll do it all by Zoom. But I will come through and pick up the document on Monday. No worries on that. Okay.
Okay, so how do I make that happen, Austin? I mean, where, do I need to keep it in my possession to hand to you, or, I mean, it's
Oh,
just.
no, if you give it to Nikki, I'll drop by her office in case I come early.
Okay, okay.
Is that okay, Nikki?
Well, the only reason I ask is because it says confidential on it.
Oh, why don't, hold on to it and I'll pick it up from you. And I'll call you if I need to meet you earlier in the day. Okay?
Okay, that's fine. That's good. He gave it to me, so we'll handle it that way. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Any other business? I'd ask about the health and Kansas committees.
Yeah, I'll get some. Actually. At the 3 points.
Okay. All right. Is there any other thing?
We've got a couple quick things. This is the comments I had on the hands thing. You can either throw them away because we already agreed it, but we
Okay,
don't need to discuss it today. And on November 10th meeting, are we gonna be done by 2 o'clock or?
or better, because,
Cause I need to be out of it.
yeah,
That's a blank.
excuse me, we were terribly late today. I don't know.
That's. If not, I need to change an appointment, but.
I'll get it, well, you go get them.
We'll get there. Is that it? Okay, well, if there's nothing else to come before the commission, is there a motion to adjourn? Will we adjourn? Is there a second?
Second.
Moving second, all in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, motion carried. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Thanks, Dallas. You're the unseen hero behind the screen that keeps